Chapter 747, The Motivation of Strengthening. Chapter 747, The Motivation of Strengthening. Since he had to do it, Long Fei would definitely be the best. In the team ranking tournament, there will definitely be blood for blood. Long Fei returned to the logistics department's residence. Leader Sun and the others had long heard of what happened to Long Fei in the quest hall. Just as Long Fei returned to his residence, Leader Sun and the others walked up and said, "Long Fei, Blood Skeleton is not an ordinary team. You should be careful." Fan Tong said, "Blood Skeleton has the support of 2 more elders, so it's possible that their ranking tournament this time will take another step forward. If they enter the top 3, they will be protected by the Academy at that time. If we offend them, they will do everything they can to protect us. If we can't do it on the open or on the dark, then we can't do it on the dark. And if we can't do it on the dark, then we can't do it on the dark. In short, they cannot lose, and only they bully people, and no one dares to bully them. Even the first few teams don't dare to provoke them. Although they were janitor disciples, no one knew more about the Academy than they did. They are the channels of information. As for the members of the various College of Martial Arts Training they all knew their strength like the palm of their hands. Long Fei looked at Leader Sun and the others. Their concern filled him with gratitude, and said, "Don't worry if Blood Skeleton isn't strong. I wouldn't be interested in him. The stronger you are, the more fun it will be." Everyone was taken aback. The Sun Data said, "Long Fei, since you have decided to do it, then we will give you our full support. We will not be able to help, but we will help you gather information regarding various aspects of the Blood Skeleton." Long Fei said, "Thank you," Sun Data said. "We are all brothers. Where is the need for thanks?" Ha ha ha. During this period of time, Lu Ba had still not appeared. From the looks of it, he would never appear again. Logistics Department was also very happy, and it could be considered to be a joyous laughter that he hadn't had in a long time. In the dead of night, Long Fei did not stay idle and entered the forest at the back of the mountain. Bedevilment. Buzz. The god's devil body appeared, took out the god's devil token, and entered the god's devil space to cultivate, especially the big day Tashigata. It was such an overpowered damage. However, the consumption of power of Celestial for Long Fei was also extremely huge. Other than the turn Yen Long into God that he was still unable to use, the consumption of power of Celestial was the greatest. All of a sudden, you emptied all the power of Celestial in your power of Celestial slot. Long Fei was, after all, not a character within a game. He was a living person, and the instantaneous hollowing out of the power of Celestial would greatly affect both his mental strength and his physical body. The coma in the Immortal City was also a normal effect. Yen Huang Ancestor said, "The stronger the divine arts, the stronger the energy consumed. If you want to stop fainting, the only thing you can do is to continuously strengthen your body. There's only one way to train the body. That is to continuously crush and break one's own limits. Although your current physical body is a saint body, you are still too weak." Long Fei said, "Cultivating my physical body requires a lot of time. I don't have much time left. I do not have much time to cultivate my physical body, and since the big day Tashigata can make me unconscious, then I will continue to cultivate to break through, reducing the time spent in this kind of coma, or disappear." Zhang Xian was moved. Long Fei shouted loudly, "Big day Tashigata!" Buzz. With a loud noise, the entire god's devil space felt like it was about to explode. The power of Celestial in Long Fei's body was also instantly emptied out. His mental force withered, and his body sank again. The sky and earth spun, and he lost consciousness. It was too hard. His brain couldn't bear it. However, it was just too exciting. The power of this move was too strong. Half an hour later, Long Fei woke up. How long was I unconscious for? Yan Huang ancestor said, 33 minutes. Again. Long Fei let out another furious shout and released the big day Tashigata once more. His body sank even deeper as he fainted. Actually, this kind of training was also a type of physical body training. If Long Fei was unable to improve his physical body in a short period of time, then he would let his physical body get used to this feeling and slowly decrease the amount of time he lost consciousness. Then he wouldn't be unconscious. He had never considered himself a genius, be it in terms of talent or potential. Long Fei did not consider himself to be a genius who needed to work hard to quickly break through. The only thing he could rely on was his hard work. He was going all out. He put in all his effort, going completely mad. Early morning, when Long Fei walked out of the small forest, he was like a frosted eggplant. He did not have the slightest bit of spirit. He fetched a bucket of water from the well and poured it over his head. Awesome! The iciness was bone-piercing, causing Long Fei's exhausted body to have quite a bit of mental energy. After changing into a clean set of clothes, Long Fei headed down the mountain. It had been almost half a month since he entered Deep Academy. Elder Chiu and that old man in green should have already recovered from their injuries. All that was left was the recovery of their cultivation. Long Fei kept this matter in mind. 2 hours later, Long Fei walked into Chiu Wandao's courtyard. At this moment, the moment Long Fei walked into the courtyard, Fatty Chen came over. Boss. Man Tualuo's eyes flashed with a bright light. Seeing Long Fei's happiness, she smiled lightly and said, Young Master Long, Xiaoing was also there, and upon seeing Long Fei, he immediately shouted, Young Master Long is mighty. All three were there. Moreover, compared to half a month ago, their cultivation base had improved by quite a lot, especially the defensive aura exuding from Fatty Chen's godly armor. It gave off the feeling that it had missed something. It was very thick. Holy Armor King Kong were just not the same. Long Fei said, Everyone is here. Today was also the appointed time. So Xiaoying and Man Tualuo were fine. Fatty Chen had sneakily ran out. This time he would definitely be punished, but he was already used to it. From the very first day he entered the profound college of martial arts training, Xiao Tianwu had never stopped punishing him, and she would also heavily punish him with small matters. If you couldn't find an excuse, you could just create something out of nothing. In other words, you wouldn't have the time to train or learn. Xiao Tianwu had sought him out several times, asked him to leave Long Fei, and cut off their relationship. Fatty Chen did not even bother to answer. He just said one word, scram. Xiao Tianwu punished him even more harshly. The more he punished, the more determined he became. He had to become stronger, even stronger, compared to Long Fei. Fatty Chen knew clearly that he was far from enough. However, Long Fei did not know about any of these. Seeing the excitement in their eyes, Long Fei thought that they were all doing well. It was just that. What he did not know was that Fatty Chen was punished every day. Man Tualuo was like a medicine boy in the Spirit Poison Academy. He did not teach her what she wanted to learn. Xiaoying was more or less a servant in College of War Martial Arts, running errands and carrying items. He was like a servant, but his identity was slightly better. They did not let Long Fei know about any of this. All obstacles would become the driving force behind their growth. Chapter 748, Deep Vengeance. Chapter 748, Deep Vengeance because of the Pan family's interference. Because of the influence of Gu Wuji's identity as a heavenly fairy hall elder. As long as one was related to Long Fei, they would be unfairly treated. Although the Pan family could not enter the Deep Academy within 2 years, the influence of Pan Sheng's words still existed. The title Demon Slayer had too great of an influence. It was right at Gu Wuji. Who would dare to offend a clan elder of a heavenly hall of immortals? Furthermore, he had many disciples in the God Emperor Academy, and all of them were elders. Who would dare not to give face to a principal? That was why Long Fei had been rejected by the 18 great matrial halls. His brothers and friends had received endless suppression. If Long Fei knew all of this, he would have turned the world upside down. Qiu Wandao walked out of the house. In just half a month, his white hair had turned into frost, and he looked like an old man in his 80s. Weak, Long Fei secretly felt pain in his heart as he looked at Qiu Wandao. Thus would definitely do his best to heal his injuries. Qiu Wandao looked at Long Fei and laughed. "You brat, you're really amazing." Just after entering the God Emperor Academy for half a month, he had already become the #1 on the wind cloud list. Long Fei was shocked. My father, Qiu Wandao's mouth was about to leak information, and he immediately changed the topic. "Kid, didn't you say you wanted to cure me? Now that I've recovered from my injuries, I'll wait for your destruction." As expected, Long Fei's heart tightened. They are indeed related to my father. Long Fei had guessed it from the beginning, but he wasn't too sure. But now, he was certain that the reason why Qiu Wandao and the old man had been protecting him in secret was because his father had given the order. If that was the case, Long Fei thought about the scene at the gods' Soul Mountain, that powerful figure, and thought to himself, is that father? Since Qiu Wandao didn't say anything, Long Fei didn't ask anymore. He believed that it wouldn't be long before he would meet his father again. Long Fei said, "I thought of a way, but I'm still missing a few things. The reason I'm here is to discuss this with you." The azure-robed old man walked out as well. He was similar to Qiu Wandao, aged beyond compare, with deep wrinkles on his forehead. "Long Fei, you don't have to force yourself. We know that we won't have any hope of surviving this lifetime, but you can be at ease now." "What's that called?" He looked at Qiu Wandao. Qiu Wandao continued, "It's better to live than to die." The azure-robed elder immediately said, "That's right. It's better to die than to live. We didn't think it through at the time, but now it won't happen." They knew this very well. Their muscles and veins were severed, and their cultivation had completely dissipated. The lifespan they had taken from the fight with the heavens was truly disappearing fast. There was no way in the world that they could recover their cultivation level. Long Fei's words were just to comfort them. Qiu Wandao was once the principal of the God Emperor Academy. He knew all the secret techniques in the Martial Repository Pavilion. There was no such cultivation technique in this world. Long Fei secretly clenched his fists inside his sleeves and said, "I already said I will help you guys recover your cultivation, so I will definitely do it." And then Long Fei continued, "I came today to let you all take care of your bodies. At that time, I will let your cultivation recover, and I will break your veins once. That kind of pain, I am worried." Man Tualuo was startled and said, "You want to break it again?" Long Fei slightly nodded and said, "At that time, I did not have the necessary things and could not use them. Moreover, the 2 elders' bodies were weak at that time, and they had no desire to live at all." Chun Tianfei asked, "Boss, what exactly do you want? We can also help you look for it." Xiao Ying also nodded continuously, saying, "That's right." Long Fei slightly said, "Heaven's resurrection grass, the stem of the spirit cultivating flower, and also a type of underworld sea mud. All 3 things were indispensable. All of these were said by the Yin Huang ancestor. Long Fei had never heard of these 3 things, and these 3 things were not even available in the Points Exchange shop. Man Tualuo shook his head. "I have never heard of these 3 things." As a member of the Medicine Valley, She had never even heard of Fatty Chen and Xiaoing shaking their heads like a rattled drum. I completely haven't heard of them. Not just them. Even Xiao Wandao and the old man in green were at a loss, as they had never heard of these things. However, they all felt relieved. Although they were not master alchemists, they knew quite a bit about immortal herbs. Coincidentally, they had never heard of any of these things before, so there was only one possibility, something that doesn't exist. However, their hearts were also filled with gratitude, because this was also Long Fei's kindness, a kindness that comforted them and gave them hope. Qiu Wandao slightly smiled and said, "Brat, I believe in you." Long Fei did not notice Qiu Wandao's expression and said, "Old Qiu, I will definitely find these 3 things, and they will definitely help you recover and become stronger." Ha ha ha. The elder smiled in excitement as he replied, "Of course." They all laughed with a happy smile. For Long Fei to have this kind of heart, even if they died, their eyes would still be at peace. They thought that Long Fei had fabricated a few lies to deceive them, but they did not know that what Long Fei had said was true. After half an hour of pleasantries, Long Fei and the rest left the courtyard. Qiu Wandao sat on the stairs, looked at their departing figures, and muttered with a smile, "I almost leaked it." The elder said, with the young lord's intellect, he should have already guessed it. Qiu Wandao was slightly taken aback, then said, "Back then, my master swept across the fighting arena with the title of Nameless, setting a record of 18 consecutive rises. Not many people know that the 18 people he defeated were the elders of the 18 great matrial halls. So how mighty and tyrannical were they? A single disciple defeating an elder of the 18 great matrial halls, shocking the world and making them sound like ghosts and gods. It could be said, all of 18 great matrial halls were overturned by him alone." The green-robed elder said, slightly, "At that time, Master's cultivation was much stronger than the young master. Other young master was able to guess who the person behind all of us was, but he didn't know if Long Family and Tong Tian Hall of Immortals had a grudge." Qiu Wandao's eyes trembled. He raised his head to look at the sky, and faintly said, "Master has suffered too much. I will definitely take revenge." Heavenly Hall of Immortals, Supreme God, Grand Elder Gu Tongtian, the 8 great elders of the Outer Space Palace. All of them are coveting the secrets of the Long family, and all of them want to obtain the secret treasures of the Dragon Clan. All of them are the enemies of the Long family. A blood feud. Chapter 749, Transactions. Chapter 749, Transactions on the way back to the God Emperor Academy. Long Fei pondered. Right now, he was also a little suspicious of whether the god's martial continent really had the 3 things that the Yan Huang ancestor said. If there was, why didn't man Tuoyuo know? Why were Qiu Wandao and the old man wearing that kind of calm expression? "Ancestor, do you or do you not have it?" Long Fei didn't know how many times he had asked this, but he felt that a man should keep his word. Since he said he would help Elder Qiu recover his cultivation, then he must do it. The Yan Huang ancestor replied impatiently, "I can't be sure either. I can only say that there might be one, but it's extremely difficult to find. If you want me to promise you, I can't guarantee it either. This is the god's martial continent, not the chaos realm. If this were the chaos realm, I could have immediately given you a direction. In the god's martial continent, you can only depend on yourself. Some things are by chance. Since the opportunity had not arrived, you couldn't find it no matter how hard you searched." Long Fei asked, "Then how do I enter the chaos realm?" Yan Huang ancestor. He was speechless. Long Fei was about to go crazy. Yan Huang ancestor said, "Don't even mention knowing how to enter. Even if you were allowed to enter the chaos realm, you would still not live past 3 days. The danger level of the chaos realm is several tens of thousands of times greater than here. Kid, there are some things that can't be rushed. Long Fei knew in his heart, but when he looked at Chiu Wan Dao and the old man in green, he felt upset. I can wait, but old Chiu and the others can't. Look at how old they are now. They have lost all their cultivation, and their longevity will be lost very quickly. They don't have much time left. Yan Huang ancestor also became silent. There was nothing he could do. He could only provide a way to break it, but he could not find three things for Long Fei. Everything depended on Long Fei. Seeing Long Fei's silence along the way, Chun Tianfei asked, Boss, the Academy's large competition is in a few months. Are you willing to participate? Long Fei said, I have formed a team. At that time, I will be participating in the team competition as a team. Xiaoying asked, Is it because of the Blood Skeleton Battle Team? Man Tuoyuo followed. I heard that the Blood Skeleton Battle Team is very powerful, with the great clan elders supporting them from the White Tiger Courtyard. They might enter the top 3 in this year's competition. Boss, what team are you on? I want to join too. Chun Tianfei immediately became excited. Xiaoying also jumped up in excitement, raising his hand high up in the air. I want to join as well. Man Tuoyuo also said, Can I join? No matter what difficulties Long Fei encountered, they would never abandon him. If they are brothers, then let's carry them together. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, The team is still in the process of being formed. If you all want to join, then you all should become stronger as soon as possible. At the very least, it needs to be arrogant, immortal state, right? Chun Tianfei immediately replied, No problem. The arrogant immortal state, right? I will definitely train, with all my might. Humph. Even if those senior brother S and elders look down on me, I will still desperately cultivate and break through. Xiaoying clenched his fists and said violently, With this motivation, they worked even harder. The 4 of them passed through a small forest. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind suddenly stopped. The battle intent on his body suddenly soared. His eyes darkened, his gaze sweeping across, and said slightly, Come out. Instantly, Chun Tianfei entered into battle mode. Xiaoying stood guard beside Man Tuoyuo and was on high alert. He. A mischievous laughter rang out as a 16 to 17-year-old girl landed on a tree branch. Her 2 slender legs swayed as she said, You actually sense my presence within 50 meters. Is this your limit? Long Fei's expression retracted and said, It's you? Fatty Chun was a little stunned as he said, Boss, isn't that the young lady from God's Phoenix Pavilion who was wearing a veil? It was the veiled girl, Song Qianqian. She glanced at one of the Chun Tianfei-s, then looked at him and said, I know of the 3 things you have mentioned. Long Fei was shocked and asked, What are those 3 things? Song Qianqian smiled and said, I know of the heaven-continuing grass, the stem of the spirit cultivating flower, and the nether sea mud. Long Fei was even more shocked. He did not sense Song Qianqian's existence from the courtyard, and even the Yan Huang ancestor did not feel it. However, Song Qianqian was definitely close to the courtyard, 100 meters away. If she could hear his conversation from such a distance, she would be too terrifying. Long Fei asked, You have been following me this whole time? The corner of Song Qianqian's mouth lifted and said, God Emperor Academy isn't your home. If you can come, can I come as well? Not only me, but others are following you as well. That Blood Skeleton Battle Team member has already found out where the 2 old men are. Just as she finished speaking, Long Fei's expression changed greatly, and then he swiftly ran towards the cove. Song Qianqian said, Don't worry, they have yet to make a move. You don't need to be in such a hurry either. Long Fei stopped and looked at Song Qianqian. Just who are you? This girl was too powerful. From the very first moment God's Phoenix Pavilion saw her, Long Fei knew that she was not a simple person. Regardless of cultivation or status, they were both extremely powerful. Song Chanqian giggled and said, "Didn't you know? I am from the dark demon region. I am from the demon race." Chen Tianfei said to Long Fei in a low voice, "Boss, the demons won't be in the God Emperor Academy. They will definitely be discovered by the elders." "She's lying to you." Song Chanqian stared at him. A sharp look was revealed in his eyes. He stared straight at Fatty Chun and said, "What is this damn Fatty muttering about?" Chun Tianfei's eyes darkened, his mind was shaken, and his body started trembling uncontrollably. It was incomparably terrifying. Long Fei said in a faint voice, "Go back first. Come back here again 1/2 month later. If I am done with my mission, don't come here anymore." Man Tuolyuo looked at Song Chanqian and said, "Long Fei, be careful. I will ask you about the three-spirit grasses." Chen Tianfei did not dare to stay. Even if it was his holy armor fairy vein, they would not be able to withstand Song Chanqian's murderous gaze. He had not reached the stage where his holy armor fairy vein could withstand the spiritual pressure. There were only Long Fei and Song Chanqian in the small forest. Long Fei asked, "Speak, why are you looking for me?" Song Chanqian giggled and said, "It's very simple." While they were talking, she took out the dragon head Qiankuan map that was quickly drawn in the Secret History Pavilion and said, "Help me find the dragon head. I will help you find 3 things." All this time, she had been trying to unravel the secret of this kind of map. In the end, he concluded that the dragon head Qiankuan map was the dragon head. Long Fei said, "I don't know where it is." Song Chanqian laughed. "Where did I find it?" Long Fei's heart trembled. He also wanted to find out what's hidden inside the dragon head Qiankuan map. What about the head of the Yuan Long S? Long Fei said, "Add in another condition. Don't you still have a hidden rancor by your side? I want him to protect the 2 old men in the cove." Song Chanqian said without any hesitation, "Deal." Chapter 750, Hold Me Tight and Fly You. Chapter 750, Hold Me Tight and Fly You. It was straightforward, without any hesitation. Song Chanqian moved. Boom! A 3-meter-tall Black Panther was summoned. Its entire body was exuding a dense demonic aura, and its body was covered with simple and unadorned patterns, as if it was some sort of high-grade rune. Its 4 limbs, in particular, were covered in a black fog. Song Chanqian rolled over and landed on the back of the Black Panther. He looked at Long Fei and said, "Come up." Black Panther stared at Long Fei with eyes filled with hostility, its fangs slightly revealed, giving off a feeling of majesty. Moreover, Long Fei was sure that if this guy were to attack him, he wouldn't be able to stop it. A divine beast level mount. Long Fei jumped up. The Black Panther let out a low growl in annoyance. This was the first time he had been ridden by someone other than Song Chanqian, so he naturally felt very unhappy. Song Chanqian's voice turned cold and said, "Little Black, listen to me." The Black Panther's raging flames instantly cooled down, becoming as quiet as a kitten. Song Chanqian turned to look at Long Fei and said, "Hug me tightly and fly you." Black Leopard was like a sports bike with over 10,000 horsepower. Its body leaned forward, and Song Chanqian followed suit. Long Fei held onto Song Chanqian's waist slightly. It was soft like it had no bones. Very thin. Song Chanqian giggled and said, "You'd better hold on tighter." "Finished." Song Chanqian lightly patted Black Panther's neck. "Little Black, let's go." Roar. With a roar, the Black Panther fiercely charged forward. Its speed was like the roar of a monster as it instantly charged into the sky. Damn! His body suddenly hugged, tightly protecting Song Qianqian. Because he had used too much strength and it was too sudden, Long Fei's hands lost their direction, and he was also in the wrong place, so he directly hugged onto Song Qianqian's chest. Huh, why is it a little bulky? It's still a little big. Where is this place? Long Fei's mind quickly spun. Both of his hands scratched and pinched. The feeling of his hands was exceptionally good. And at this time, his eyes suddenly realized that he grabbed onto a place that he shouldn't have grabbed onto. Song Qianqian's expression also darkened as he coldly asked, "Where did you catch them?" Long Fei immediately looked down and said, I'm sorry. He whispered, "Her breasts are so big." Song Qianqian's expression became even colder and said, "Do you believe that I won't throw you down?" Long Fei immediately shut his mouth and did not say any more. If he said more, he would really be thrown down by Song Qianqian. This which was like a little girl crazily asking for her life. Just this valiant mount alone was enough to stun anyone. In another place, the heavenly hall of immortals. Supreme God looked into the distance and smiled. "You've gone out again?" 19 Ideas Simulacrum stood beside Supreme God and said lightly, "We just investigated clearly that the immortal city's master is Undying Ghost Dragon, and he was killed by Long Fei. And furthermore, one of the demon powerhouses was repelled in 3 moves. I reckon that the demons will make their move against Long Fei as well." He was the Supreme God's spy in the God Emperor Academy, his goal being to control all of Long Fei's movements. The Supreme God let out a long breath and said, "Those giant demons of the breaking through the seal must also know that the secret treasures of the dragon race can only be found by the people of the Long family." However, Supreme God smiled confidently. "They still don't know enough." 19 said, "Supreme God, the Western demons are eyeing us covetously. The devil flames are getting stronger and stronger. As for the matters regarding the demon slayer." Supreme God said, "Don't worry too much about the matters regarding the demon slayer. You will definitely come out when it is time for you to come out. Right now, the time is not right, and the Pan family will definitely defend the title of demon slayer. They will do their best to deal with it. You don't need to do these things yourself. Your focus is always on controlling Long Fei's movements." 19 immediately said, "Disciple understands." Long Fei was the main point. If they could find a secret treasure of the Dragon Clan, what would those millions of years Old Devil be worth? Even if they didn't have a demon slayer, they would still be killed. Long Fei left with Song Qianqian. The disciples of the logistics department were silently collecting information about the various battle teams, their personnel, cultivation level, cultivation techniques, and the powers supporting them, especially regarding the collection of information on the blood skeleton. Since Long Fei wanted to do something to help him, Sun Data did his best to help him. This was because he wanted to do something before graduation. Even if there was nothing he could do, he wanted to help Long Fei reach the top. Except for their efforts, God Emperor Academy also had another piece of heavyweight news. The 2 teams ranked 19th and 16th announced their cancellation. This had quite an impact on the God Emperor Academy. Only a fool would write off the names of the top 20 teams. At the same time, a team named Quanglong was formed. The team leader was Dao Feng, the vice captain was Han Shueji, and the 3 of them joined forces to quickly complete the mission. They had to raise the number of points on their team to 500 to qualify to enter the tournament. What Long Fei wanted to do was what they wanted to do. And then there was Long Fei. It took 2 whole days before the Black Panther slowed down and finally came to a stop on a mountain slope. Song Qianqian said, "We're here." Long Fei immediately let go of his hands and felt a little awkward looking at Song Qianqian. In his previous life, he had always dreamed of having a super motorcycle and then bringing his sister to go on a rampage. He had never realized it in his previous life, but in this foreign world, it was him who held his sister while leading his sister on a rampage. Too awkward. His dream had been shattered into pieces. Song Chanchian said, "This is Dragon Head Mountain. The Dragon Head Qianquan map should be here." Just now, Long Fei took a look at the terrain with confidence. The terrain here was a little special, as if it had experienced the effects of an ancient war. Giant pits and deep holes were everywhere, and if not for the trees covering them, there would definitely be holes everywhere. Long Fei asked, "You already know this place. Why did you bring me here? If you can find this place, concealing it would allow you to solve this map, right?" Song Chanchian laughed. "Finding this place isn't difficult. The important thing is to unravel the secret here. The Dragon Head Qianquan map is like a maze. If you want to unlock it, I'm afraid you're the only one in the world. You are a member of the Long family. The one flowing on you is a dragon spirit blood." Song Chanchian looked at Long Fei seriously. The man in front of him looked ordinary without anything unusual about him. However, the feeling Long Fei gave her was extremely deep, unfathomable. The hidden potential was also unfathomable. Long Fei replied with a question. "What exactly are you looking for?" Song Chanchian was unable to answer now, and she did not know what was inside the Dragon Head Qianquan map. However, after pausing for half a minute, Song Chanchian looked into the distance with misty eyes. Chapter 751, Sky Tyrant Form, Infinite Strike. Chapter 751, Sky Tyrant Form, Infinite Strike. This Dragon Head Mountain is the unknown domain of the gods' Martial Continent. Very few people dabble in it. Therefore, you must be careful. Follow behind me. Don't get too far away, Song Chanchian said as he walked in front. Long Fei replied, "Understood." This definitely was not Song Chanchian's first time here. The reason she came to find him was because of something that she could not unravel, and she needed Long Fei to do it herself. Moreover, Long Fei also wanted to know, even more than Song Chanchian, wanted to know what exactly was hidden within the Dragon Head Qianquan map. Is it really the head of the Yuan Long? If he was a Yuan Long, then if he found his flesh and melted, would his power instantly become an existence that was so strong that it could explode the heavens? Buzz. Boom. Suddenly, a loud sound came from within the dark forest. Song Chanchian immediately stopped and retracted his aura as he said, "Slightly, stop for a moment." A few minutes passed. Song Chanchian began to walk forward again and said, "You can go now." Long Fei asked with some doubt, "Was it the demon beast just now? Why didn't you kill him?" Song Chanchian turned to look at Long Fei and said, "Level 8 demon beast had a divine ability attached to it. If the two of us were to go kill it, you would be killed instantly." He made it sound as though it was an understatement. However, Long Fei's heart was thundering and rolling. "Level 8 demon beast." Yan Huang Ancestor said lightly, "She is right. The aura just now was indeed the aura of a level 8 demon beast. Furthermore, there is a sacred art attached to it as well. Boy, this woman is stronger than I thought." A level 8 demon beast was extraordinary. The demon beastess that carried the sacred art were even more extraordinary. Each of them was an existence that seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and the earth. Long Fei secretly clicked his tongue, but he was also a bit excited in his heart and thought to himself, "This is a good place to level up, not now, but in the future I will definitely be able to. Blood Dragon, I told you to remember the route. Did you?" Blood Dragon Ancestor said, excitedly, "Don't worry, I have never been able to accomplish anything that boss asked me to do. I have already memorized the route." This was Long Fei's trump card. He didn't know where Song Chanqian came from, nor could he trust him. He had to be careful. After walking for half an hour, Song Chanqian stopped again. Stop. 10 minutes later, they were walking again. After walking like this for 3 whole days, bypassing over 100 super demon beasts, all of them being level 7 and above, Long Fei complained in his heart, "This is all just experience." Suddenly, Song Chanqian stopped. Long Fei said, "We have to wait a bit more, right?" Song Chanqian said, "In front of us is a gorge. We must pass through it. There are many demon beasts in the gorge. It is unavoidable. *CK. We should have had a fight a long time ago." Long Fei was excited. If he did not level up to gain some experience, he would be at a disadvantage. Song Chanqian said, "These fellows are not to be trifled with. Be careful." Long Fei replied, "Understood. You must remember this. If you can avoid them, you must not provoke them." Song Chanqian reminded her once again. Long Fei replied, "Got it." But he thought to himself, not provoke? How could he kill any monsters to level up without provoking them? How can you know your cultivation level without provoking others? Along the way, Long Fei wanted to see what realm Song Chanqian was in. The only way to test her cultivation was the super demon beast. 10 minutes later, Long Fei and Song Chanqian walked into the canyon. The canyon was burning with hot air, like it was a volcanic crater. On both sides, there were bare rocks, one after the other, but there were no demon beasts as mentioned by Song Chanqian. Suddenly, bam! At the top of the canyon, an incomparably huge stone statue roared. Sky Tyrant form. Rumble! From a height of 100 meters, he charged straight down. Holy *T. The stone men were enlarged. Long Fei's expression changed greatly. He had once met a stone man and a demon beast in the great, desolate mountain range, but compared to this guy, he was like an ant. More importantly, it started with enlargement stroke. Bam! A loud sound was heard. Its speed was too fast. Long Fei could not react at all, but he could not react in time. Song Chanqian's reaction speed was like a god's, grabbing Long Fei by the collar and bouncing him off. Boom! The 10-meter-tall stone giant smashed into the ground, creating a deep crater. The surrounding area began to burn as well, and flames began to burn on the stone giant's body. The aura emitted from its body was incomparably intense. At the same time, Long Fei's heart sank as he looked at the stone giant through the system. Demon Beast, Overlord Stone Devil rank, 7 rating monster and beast's damage, 7 stars speed, 7 stars attack power, 8 stars divine powers, Sky Tyrant strike, infinite attack. Looking at the last part, Demon Beast description, Long Fei was completely dumbfounded. Fuck, what do you mean by Sky Tyrant strike? An unlimited attack. Not waiting for him to finish. Rumble. The Overlord Stone Devil crashed out again, not giving Long Fei and Song Chanqian a chance to react at all. Song Chanqian pulled Long Fei and bounced away once again. Infinite combo. This is an existence that's going to break through the heavens. Boom! Song Chanqian grabbed Long Fei and wanted to pull him away again, but this time Long Fei rushed forward and said, "If this continues, there's no way to escape." Finished. The moment the devil's sword in Long Fei's hand fell, the moment the Overlord Stone Devil rushed down, his aura became heavy. Infinite sword. Gravity sword, 10 times gravity. The devil's sword in Long Fei's hand moved, slashing down. Rumble. Long Fei's gravity sword intent was shattered. Long Fei was also instantly sent flying. That Sky Tyrant rock also shook slightly, becoming even more angry. Roar! The flame exploded around his body, and before he could stop for even half a second, he was sent flying once again. I'm done for. I'm not afraid of you." Long Fei was also burning with anger. He put away the devil's sword and switched with the dragon salyer, killing God Chop. A saber ruthlessly hacked down. He slashed at the head of the Overlord Stone Devil. Boom. Woo-woo. A bright red number appeared above the rock demon's head. It let out a painful scream. "While you're sick, I'll take your life." Long Fei kept his dragon salyer and hugged his fists. He had already cultivated Mountain Hit Fist to the great perfection stage. "Break for me." The Overlord Stone Devil flew into a rage amidst the pain and smashed towards Long Fei. Boom. The power clashed together, and Long Fei was sent flying. The Overlord Stone Devil let out a painful cry again. "Rub." Long Fei clenched his teeth and looked at the wound on the Overlord Stone Devil's head. "Fuck again." Shadow shift. Shwa. Instantly landing in front of the rock demon. The dragon salyer slashed down again. Dark dragon god slash. Boom. Splitting pulsar. Rumble. The blade came down, crushing the giant rock demon to the ground. Long Fei landed on the ground, his fists sending the tens of thousands of kilograms worth of stone demon flying. And his body flashed. Dragon Chop. 1,000 combo attacks. Song Chantian frowned and shouted loudly, "Don't kill it, don't kill it. Not kill. Impossible." Chapter 752, Infinite Sky Tyrant Strike. Chapter 752, Infinite Sky Tyrant Strike. How could he level up without killing them? How did it drop anything? If he didn't kill him, then what the heck was he being abused by the Overlord Stone Devil to such a state? If he did not kill it, would that be worthy of him? In any case, Long Fei would kill them all because he needed experience and masochism. He did not listen to Song Chantian's persuasion, nor did he hesitate at all as he crazily slashed down with 1,000 consecutive strikes from the dragon chop. Under the final slash, Long Fei shouted out in his heart, "Explode for me!" At this time, Song Chantian frantically rushed over, wanting to stop Long Fei from killing this rock demon. Seeing the rock demon fall to the ground, she cried out inwardly, "Crap!" The system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 36,000 experience points when killing Overlord Stone Devil, 500 points for power of celestial, and 1 point for energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Overlord Stone Devil's ability, Sky Tyrant Strike. Yes, sir. The big move of the Stone Man will definitely be learned. Long Fei said excitedly, "This technique is really good at using existences that could destroy the heavens and earth." Although the Overlord Stone Devil was not a stone person in the game, but it was very strong, especially with its unlimited combo. It was too terrifying. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training the Demon Beast's ability Sky Tyrant Strike for obtaining 100 experience, 100 power of celestial, and 100 points as a reward. Skill path, Sky Tyrant Strike consumption, 1,000 power of celestial S cooldown, 1 second damage, 5 stars description. This cultivation technique is Demon Beast's sacred art. A ton of impact force, the heavier the body, the stronger the impact force. Weight versus strength? Wasn't it useless for that person to train in this skill? Long Fei did not care about the description of the skill, but looked at the cooldown. In a daze. Isn't that just flying randomly in the sky? As for weight, Long Fei did not mind because he had trained in Gravity Knife S, so he could release his own gravity, which was equivalent to tons and tons of weight. Rumble! 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 Right after the Overlord Stone Devil was killed, the calm canyon suddenly became restless. The continuous sounds of explosions were like rolling thunder that continuously exploded. Next, as one Overlord Stone Devil after another jumped down from the rocks in the canyon, Every one of them were incomparably fierce, staring at Long Fei as though they were going to eat him whole. All the demonic stones in the canyon had awoken. Song Chanqian's face sank and said, "This will be difficult." Long Fei's expression also darkened. You knew from the beginning that killing a demon beast would awaken all the demonic stones. Song Chanqian said, "I just reminded you not to kill him. If you didn't listen, then I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to pass this valley." However, Song Chanqian had not finished speaking when he realized that Long Fei had already rushed out. Moreover, Long Fei's face was filled with excitement. He was not afraid at all, and Song Chanqian was stunned. Is this man crazy? The more excited the demon beast, the more excited it became. The stronger the boss, the more excited it became. Looking at the Overlord Stone Devil in the canyon, Long Fei's heart started to boil. How much experience is this? Is it enough for me to level up? What did you say? Song Chanqian didn't hear it clearly and walked behind Long Fei. Long Fei could not afford to let anything happen to him. At least nothing could happen to Long Fei before she undid the Dragon Head Qinquan map, so she had to ensure Long Fei's safety. Long Fei asked, is there only one way? Song Chanqian nodded his head and said, "Only this one? If I fly past it, I might get lost. I have tried it." Long Fei became even more excited and said, "Then let's kill." Song Chanqian looked at Long Fei and asked, "Are you sure?" Long Fei took a step forward and said, "Definitely." Song Chanqian gave a shallow smile and said, "Then let's begin." Finished. Song Chanqian shouted, "Follow behind me." Hey. I told you to follow me. Song Chanqian shouted, but Long Fei had already rushed out. "I truly submit to you." Rumble. Long Fei approached slightly, and before he could even react, the 5 Overlord Stone Devil S had already charged out. Their bodies turned into a straight line, and they were as fast as lightning. Boom, boom, boom. A series of loud sounds rang out. Song Chanqian shouted loudly, "Be careful!" Long Fei curled his lips. Your strength might not be as good as yours, but your brain's reaction speed. I'm a pro-level player. Sky Tyrant Strike. The instant before the 5-stone demon landed on the ground, Long Fei charged forward and instantly rammed into them. Boom! Damn. This is great. He was able to accurately dodge the attacks of the 5-stone men. Moreover, the feeling of dodging a skill was like playing a game. However, this was even more exciting. Song Chanqian was shocked. He looked at Long Fei and was shocked. He also returned to his stone demon ability. It was comprehended. This comprehension ability is too fast. I'll just copy it. The people of Long family are really different. As soon as he finished, Song Chanqian's aura suddenly exploded, the cold sword in his hand, his body leaned forward, and with every step he took, his figure seemed to transform into a myriad of forms, which was impossible to see clearly. Long Fei's cultivation could not see Song Chanqian's figure clearly. Patriarch. This was the first time Long Fei had seen Song Chanqian make a move. It was too fast. The Yen Huang ancestor said, slightly, "The Phantom Kill Sword Technique's cultivation realm has reached the 9th level. Your cultivation is. The Virtual Immortals isn't right. The Blood Immortal isn't right. It's still rising. The Golden Immortal. Her aura is erratic and erratic. Suddenly a Virtual Immortals, suddenly a different realm. This little girl is incredible. I am afraid no one can stop her with just this." Long Fei asked, "What about compared to sky-separating clans Pan Sheng?" The people of the Pan family all possessed Pan Gu bloodline S, and their talent was at the peak of the gods' martial continent, an existence that very few people could surpass. The Yen Huang ancestor said, "It's not worth mentioning. That Pan clan kid's blood vein is indeed very strong, but compared to her, it's so weak that it explodes. Damn! Long Fei's heart trembled. He knew clearly that Song Chanqian was strong, but he never thought that he was strong to such an extent. He couldn't even defeat Pan Sheng now. So this Song Chanqian. At this moment, Song Chanqian's phantom kill sword skill continued to be used. The 5 demonic stones seemed to be stunned, as they stood still and did not move at all, as they could not find their target. They couldn't lock onto the target, so they didn't know how to hit it. Seeing that the rock demon's HP was running low, Long Fei shouted, "I'm coming!" The experience of the 5 demonic stones was over 100,000. They couldn't be lost just like that. Sky Tyrant form. Shua. Long Fei's body moved, and he shouted in his heart, 10 times gravity! Boom! An instant critical strike. He directly smashed the 5 demonic stones into pieces, and even more demonic stones rushed out from the canyon. Chapter 753, Infinite Fire. Chapter 753, Infinite Fire, ding. Ding. 5 prompts sounded. Long Fei looked at Song Chanqian and said, "I will be in charge of attracting monsters, and you will be in charge of killing monsters." Song Chanqian frowned. Long Fei had already rushed out, feeling refreshed in his heart. If I don't make good use of this kind of expert by my side, then I will really suffer a huge loss. Boom, boom. A large group of Overlord Stone Devil crashed out. Long Fei stood in place without moving. After calculating the distance properly, those rock demons would attack as soon as they entered the range of the Sky Tyrant attack. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk the 8 demonic stones struck Xiang Long Fei instantly. Moonlit step. Long Fei's godlike reaction immediately flew outwards the moment they crashed into the ground. Bang, bang. 8 loud sounds clashed onto empty air, causing Long Fei, who was in midair, to grin. Now it's my turn. 10 times gravity. Sky Tyrant strike. From above, he ruthlessly slammed down. Rumble. The 8 giant stone demons were knocked flying, and at this moment Long Fei yelled in his heart, "Dragon Chop!" 8,000 slashes. 8 Overlord Stone Devil. 1,000 slashes meant 8,000 slashes. The dragon salyer was wildly dancing, and the 8 giant demons in the air were constantly letting out painful screams. They could not resist at all. 12,221, 7,382, 11,123. Bright red damage continuously rose from the top of their heads. The 8,000 slashes came crashing down. Shurtu had become a cripple. However, the moment they landed, Long Fei also landed, while the other demonic stones that had entered the range of the impact instantly rammed into them. Shadow shift. Shua. Long Fei's speed became even faster as he swiftly dodged out of the way. He turned his head to strike out with a heavy blow. If you will crash, then Lousy will crash even more. Sky Tyrant strike. Rumble. The 1-second cooldown was just too fast. It was as if the cooldown of a skill had been shortened by 100 times. It was even better than Infinite Fire. As long as your hand speed was fast enough, the skill would not stop. Boom, boom. The demon beast that rushed out from the valley had already blocked the valley's entrance, so the stone demon behind them could not come out at all. This also lessened the pressure on Long Fei. Because the rock devils were in one direction, there was no need to worry about attacks coming from other directions. Song Chanqian saw a large wave of rock demons collide forward, and then Long Fei took a step back, cleverly avoiding the impact. You hit me, I'll hit you. It was just that. It was very difficult for the rock demons to hit Long Fei, but Long Fei managed to hit them time and time again. This reaction was too swift. Of course, in his past life, pro players weren't made up for nothing. If they didn't even have this sort of reaction, how could they still be considered pro players? Just a little. Long Fei's weight was still not enough. He was unable to inflict more damage. Furthermore, the main effect of this skill was on control. Once you hit, you're sent flying. There's nothing you can do in midair. Long Fei struck again. Dragon Chop, 10,000 slashes. 18 stone demon were knocked away by Long Fei, and after the cooldown time of the Dragon Chop ended, Long Fei was immediately released. The heck? The combination of the Stone Man and the Osso. I'm about to fall in love with myself. I'm too handsome. Long Fei was excited. The 18,000 slashes crazily fell on him, as if death was dancing wildly. Boom! Long Fei landed on the ground, and his body once again explosively retreated. At this moment, ding! The power of Celestial is not enough, please supplement. The power of Celestial is not enough, please supplement. The system sounded out. The Fairy Stone Root quickly released the power of Celestial, and with just the power of Celestial of the Fairy Stone Root, it was not enough. Long Fei quickly retreated and said to Song Qianqian, "Don't watch the show, it's your turn now." Song Qianqian took a glance at Long Fei and thought to himself, "Is this your limit? That's not right. It should be the limit of your power of Celestial. For a first-stage Berserker Immortal to be able to persevere for so long, the power of Celestial in your body is 3 times that of a normal first-stage Wild Immortal. The people from Long family are truly abnormal." Song Qianqian quickly made his move. Her cultivation continued to change nonstop as she released the Fantasy Killer Sword technique crazily, killing 18 Overlord Stone Devil in a short 10 seconds. While she was killing him, ding, ding, 18 notifications continuously rang out in Long Fei's brain. The value of his power of Celestial had also recovered a little, and after he saw his experience points increase crazily, he said, "This feeling is too good. However, this feeling is a bit too slow." Long Fei muttered to himself and said to Song Qianqian, "Can you be a little faster?" Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and asked, "How are you going to go crazy?" Long Fei said, "I still have a big move. Can you keep up?" Song Qianqian was startled. She was initially worried that Long Fei would be destroyed by the rock demon, but looking at his fighting techniques, she was no longer worried. It was, as her master had said, do not underestimate anyone from the Long family. Even if he was only a martial artist in the immortal realm, he couldn't be underestimated because the people in the Long family were all abnormal. Now she finally understood why her master would say that. Song Qianqian said, "Today I'll accompany you until you're mad enough." Ha ha! Long Fei smiled excitedly and said, "Then follow my footsteps now. Remember, you can't be more than a meter away from me. This time, I will fly you." As soon as he finished, Long Fei roared in his heart, "Rank 5 unparalleled." Buzz! 32 times the usual strength came out master, causing his strength to increase by multiple times. In an instant, Long Fei jumped into the air and changed his posture. Moonlit step! He landed in the air above the most concentrated group of demon beast. Song Qianqian was startled. "Isn't that too crazy?" She kept up with him. Long Fei roared out, "Sky Tyrant Strike!" His body exploded and heavily crashed into the ground. Rumble! After knocking out an empty area in the most densely packed area of Demon Beast, Long Fei excitedly said, "Fair, it's your turn." Buzz! Fair rushed out from within the Thunder Pearl. Holding her magic staff, she chanted towards the sky, "Power of Thunder, listen to my command." Bang! The lightning field rumbled, and lightning raged. And at the instant the lightning descended, Song Qianqian landed behind Long Fei. Long Fei looked at her, smiled slightly, and said, "Hug me tightly. This time I'll fly you." Song Qianqian's cheeks flushed slightly. Looking at the lightning field that covered the sky, She did not put it in her eyes at all. She could dodge it, and the lightning might not even harm her. However, at this moment, she still walked over, hugged Long Fei's waist, closed her eyes, and lightly leaned on Long Fei's back. Just like a couple, Long Fei roared, "Fire! Go in and release it. Burn it!" Fei cried out in excitement. "Understood, Master!" 10,000 thunderbolts, fury. Boom. Chapter 754, 15 seconds, 2 levels. Chapter 754, 15 seconds, 2 levels. 10,000 lightning bolts were unleashed simultaneously. There was less thunder. Fei's strength had increased by a lot compared to last time, and those rock devils in the narrow valley were struck down before they could even react. The bright red damage continued to float. However, these rock devils had very high HP. Fei's skill was AoE, but her damage was still lacking. She hadn't killed the rock devils yet. It was also at this time Long Fei lightly patted Song Qianqian's hands and said, "Sister, it's your turn to perform." Song Qianqian leaned on Long Fei's shoulder. Her heart was indescribably calm. She had never been so calm before, and this feeling was very special. She had never experienced it before. Even, she almost fell asleep. Hearing that Long Fei's voice had returned to normal, their eyes became cold as they looked at the surrounding Overlord Stone Devil. They all stared at Long Fei like tigers stalking their prey. Fei stuck out her tongue and said, "Master, I'll leave first." He drilled into the thunder pearl. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. The breaths of the rock demons looked like they were about to spew fire, staring at Long Fei with eyes full of killing intent. Then, in the blink of an eye, over 100 sky tyrant rock devils crazily rammed into him, completely giving up their lives. They were all furious. Boom, boom, boom. It was too fast, to the point that Long Fei was caught off guard, and his brain was unable to react in time. And it was also at this moment that Long Fei's heart trembled. What a powerful sword, intent. Yan Huang Ancestor was also shocked. Illusion Slaughter's strongest sword, intent. Illusory realm kill. What is the background of this girl? Just what kind of ancient blood vein is flowing in her body? Yan Huang Ancestor muttered. Even he could not see through Song Qianqian. Every move had a different power. However, there was one thing Patriarch could be certain of, and that was that Song Qianqian had definitely merged with some kind of ancient, powerful blood vein. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to unleash such a powerful force. Yan Huang Ancestor thought to himself, "It's time to help this guy find the blood vein." The Pan-Gu bloodline S of Sky-separating clan and other superfamilies all have fusion blood vein, and they are all at the peak of God's martial continent. This kid is a bit out of sync. Blood vein could be said to be a gift. Blood vein was the source of unlimited potential. The blood vein flowing in your body can allow you to quickly improve and release endless amounts of power. Its power is even more powerful than the power of a mortal foundation. Blood vein S were extremely important to any warrior. It was just that. An ordinary warrior would not have any blood vein in their body, unless it was the kind of ancestor that was an extremely powerful being or the inheritance of some ancient beast race. Otherwise, the blood vein's power wouldn't exist in their body. It was just an ordinary warrior. The dragon spirit blood S in Long Fei's body were peeled off, and he did not have the strength of a blood vein in his body. The former Titan blood vein, Underworld King blood vein, the undying blood vein were all absorbed by the dragon Salyer. These blood vein were slightly worse than the Pan family's Pan-Gu bloodline. They had to be fused with the best and the most powerful blood vein. At least, blood vein at the peak of God's martial continent, a blood vein that could crush everything. Yan Huang Ancestor made up his mind. It's about time. At this moment, Song Qianqian took a step forward and stood in front of Long Fei. The black dress on her body fluttered as she stepped on the black lotus. With each step, a flower and an illusion appeared. The cold sword in his hand moved slightly. The aura on her body immediately exploded outwards, and a black ripple spread outwards, covering hundreds of surrounding Overlord Stone Devil. Then, the rock devils that were rushing out fell to the ground in a flash, as if they had crashed into a plane. At the same time, Song Qianqian frowned. Illusory realm destroyer. Thousand shadow transformation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, her figure transformed into 1,000 different figures that filled the sky. They traveled through the void, as if entering another space and time. Long Fei could only feel the incomparably strong sword intent, but he was unable to feel the feelings of those stone giant demons. They had all entered into an illusionary world released by Song Qianqian. He couldn't extricate himself. And Song Qianqian's 1,000 figures had entered these illusions to instantly kill all of them. Boom! With a loud noise, all of the surrounding Overlord Stone Devil burst apart, turning into powder and killing all of the stone demons in the surroundings with a single sword strike. Powerful, unparalleled power. Long Fei was stunned. The strong will explode. It was also at this time that the system beep in Long Fei's mind also began to crackle nonstop like firecrackers. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 36,000 experience points when killing Overlord Stone Devil, 500 points for power of Celestial, and 1 point for energy values. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 36,000 experience points when killing Overlord Stone Devil, 500 points for power of Celestial, and 1 point for energy values. Ding! A crazed sound rang out. 2 seconds later. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Wild Immortal 2nd stage. 10 seconds later. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 3rd level of the Wild Immortal stage. In less than 15 seconds, he had risen 2 levels in succession. Waka-ka. Why don't I go up? Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed excitedly and said to Yen Huang Ancestor in his heart, Ancestor, what is the probability of me winning against this girl? Yen Huang Ancestor replied without thinking, the probability of 0. F***CK. Can you give me some face? At least you've been in my body for so many years. Long Fei's heart sank, Yen Huang Ancestor said, saying 0 is already enough to give you face. With your current cultivation, you don't even have the qualifications to fight against her. So I suggest that you give up on this idea. Long Fei muttered, what if we add in the giant demons? 10%. The Yen Huang Ancestor explained. You can disregard it. The Gravity Troll's seal has not been completely unlocked, and it will be difficult for him to be this girl's opponent. Holy **T. Is she this strong? She's only 16 or 17 years old. Long Fei secretly sked, as he still had a trace of luck in his heart, because there must be something happening within the dragon head Qianquan map. If it really was the head of the Yuan Long, could Song Qianqian steal it from him? This was the head of the Azure Dragon, Blood Dragon, and Black Dragon's bosses. Can make it? He couldn't let the fight end like this. But now that he had won 10%, Long Fei immediately gave up and thought, it seems like he won't win. Where does the soft one come from? Persuade her. Persuade her with my love. Long Fei started to feel vulgar in his heart. With such a super valiant beauty by my side, there's no way I can stop her. Who? Long Fei thought. Let's see what's hidden in the Dragon Head Qianquan map first. Then we can plan. Chapter 755. Azure Dragon, Loose Mouth. Chapter 755. Azure Dragon, Loose Mouth. It was unknown if Song Chanchian was in a berserk state or what, but after using illusory realm kill, it was as if she had eaten a dazzling spring and simply could not stop. Long Fei was afraid that he would miss out on the experience, hence he kept trying to cause as much damage as possible. This way, he would be able to gain experience. 2 hours passed. Huff! Long Fei was paralyzed as he sat on the ground, gasping for air, and said, "I've finally cleaned it all up." Song Chanchian stood at the side and said lightly, "This is just the beginning. There are many other places like this on the way to the heaven and earth secret realm. Also, the most dangerous place isn't Dragonhead Mountain, but the universe mystic realm." So Song Chanchian looked at Long Fei seriously and said, "You must listen to my commands after this, or else I won't be your spear anymore." There was a hint of coldness in his voice. This coldness started when she used her illusionary killing technique. Long Fei looked at Song Chanchian and said, "What spear use do you have?" Song Chanchian said, "You should be clear in your heart. Even if your talent is exceptional, it is impossible for you to continuously break through within the short span of half a minute. Although I am not clear on how you broke through, but I am sure it is related to killing these stone demons." He could see through it with one look. She was the first. It had to be said that Song Chanchian was extremely intelligent. Long Fei's gaze turned cold. His discovery of his secret had made him a little unhappy. No matter who it was, he could not become the existence of the system, or else his consequences would be disastrous. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "What I condensed in the purple bamboo forest was the killing thought." Song Chanchian's eyes turned cold. "My path is the path of death. I just want to see how you were controlled by the killing intent. I will break through with and how killing. You died. The more Isn't I kill, too cruel? The more I will understand the true essence of Song killing." Chanchian naturally, "Have you I will be able enough? To break Let's through go. With ease." Dark Domain. Long Fei's perfect Chinji explanation. City. Go back and tell Lord Devil Ancestor that we are increasing our speed. However, we will definitely find just the like how Long Fei could not see through her before the heavenly hall of immortals. Through Long Fei Song Qiancheng, after pausing for half a minute, Song the demon expert slightly, "I'll have to history of the Thousand City Lord. There are many experts who have cultivated the ancestor killing, will definitely not accomplish what he succeeded. The path even if he was a demon expert, path of no he return. Wouldn't dare to be disrespectful. And the further one goes, Song the harder it as becomes. The envoy beside the devil ancestor. You won't be able to control the slaughter. He was and Dark Domain's body will strongest warrior. Controlled he was by the also killing the intent. Absolute. She had looked through a lot of information in front of Song in the entire Dark Domain. His strength was and not even in the entire God's Song martial smiled faintly. No one had said, ever succeeded. "I thank you." Long Fei asked, the demon powerhouse hugged his hands, turned around, and left, turning into a streak of light before disappearing into the horizon. It was also at this time Song Qiancheng frowned and asked coldly, "How is Miss?" The shadow moved. An old man came out from the shadows and said, "Miss has already brought that kid Long family to the Dragonhead Mountain. I think in a few days there will be an appearance of a Dragonhead Qianquan map." "How many days more?" Song Qiancheng was slightly unhappy. He then asked, "How are things with the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals? Other than the Pan Clan Demon Slayer, are there any more Demon Slayer?" The old man replied, "There is currently no second Demon Slayer, but in a few months it will be the God Emperor Academy's competition. There will be news from the Heavenly Hall of Immortals S. The disciples that stand out in this competition will be brought over to the Outer Space Palace for cultivation." Song Qiancheng slightly narrowed his eyes. "It seems that the supreme god from Tong Tian Hall of Immortals can no longer sit still. Compared to the appearance of the Demon Slayer, I should go and cultivate my own Demon Slayer. Immortal Domain and Western Devil Lord definitely have a huge battle. Just that." Song Qiancheng's eyes flashed with a sharp light, and he said faintly, "The center of this spiral is actually Long family's brat." "Long family? dragon territory, dragon race. Whether it's the immortal domain or the Western Devil Lord, they are both waiting for the appearance of the dragon clan's secret treasure. Song Qianqing slightly said, "That is the best opportunity my dark domain will have." As soon as he finished, Song Qianqing said, "Send a sound transmission to Xiaojia. Ask her to speed up the process. We must definitely make that brat from Long family move. And let this whirlpool speed up. Remind her that if she doesn't complete her mission on time, then the elder said won't be able to see her mother again." All of these happened just as Song Qianqian was using the illusionary killing technique, causing a sound transmission to be transmitted to her mind. From that moment on, she became ice cold. At this moment, in Song Qianqian's heart, there were only missions. 2 days of rapid travel. Just as she had said, there were many strong demon beasts along the way, but they were all cleverly dodged by Song Qianqian. Not a single one had been killed. Long Fei felt bitter in his heart. My experience, my power of celestial, my soul treasure. Long Fei forced it out, then said to the blood dragon, "Remember this place. Next time I must come back." Blood dragon ancestor said, "Boss, don't worry. I will remember everything clearly according to your instructions." At dusk, Song Qianqian stopped and said, "We will rest here tonight." Here. Long Fei was startled because they were at the edge of a huge crater. Inside the crater was also a dense forest, and he could not see how deep they were. Song Qianqian did not explain and directly leaped onto a large tree. Leaning on the tree trunk with both eyes shut, he started to rest. Along the way, Song Qianqian was cold and silent. Even if there was, it was to remind him to follow closely. There was no longer that mischievous smile from before. Long Fei muttered, "What happened? Forget it. Fill up your stomach first." Long Fei took out a leg of demon beast and began to roast it. Originally, she wanted to tempt Song Qianqian, but she was completely indifferent to it. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, a dragon head Qianquan map appeared in Long Fei's mind. What is it? Inside Long Fei's body, the few dragons began to discuss once more. Ghost Dragon asked, "Big Brother Azure Dragon, do you want to tell boss about this?" The Golden Dragon also said, "The heaven and earth secret realm is too dangerous. Let's talk about it first." Blood Dragon Ancestor said, "Big Brother Azure Dragon, say something. It's not like you don't know about the secret realm. It's too dangerous inside." The Azure Dragon Ancestor pondered for a moment and said, "All right." Chapter 756, Universe Mystic Realm Memory Awakening. Chapter 756, Universe Mystic Realm Memory Awakening. The Azure Dragon had let go. It was the first time. He had always insisted on carrying out the things that the Yuan Long had told him, even though Long Fei had encountered some difficulties, and he did not want to help. It was different this time. With Long Fei's current cultivation, entering the heaven and earth secret realm was no different from courting death. Even if he had Song Qianqian to protect him, it would be useless. Moreover, Song Qianqian was someone of the dark domain. In this moment of life and death, would she still protect Long Fei? Wulong discussed for a moment, and then the Azure Dragon Ancestor's voice sounded out in Long Fei's mind. "Boss, the sun is rising tomorrow. The first ray of sunlight is shining into the deep pit. So where is the entrance to the secret realm? I believe that the young lady of dark domain already knows about it. After entering the secret realm, you must listen to me. You cannot take even half a step wrong, or else the consequences will be unimaginable." Long Fei's eyes shook and said slightly, "Azure Dragon, this doesn't seem to be your style." The reason why he suddenly wanted to help Long Fei at this time was not because he had a plan, but because the heaven realm was too dangerous. The Azure Dragon Ancestor slightly said, "Dragon Head Qianquan map This is the place where you fell. Your dragon's head is hidden inside the universe's secret realm. This was where the most powerful battle of the tribulation had taken place. He had lost. He had fallen as well. With the dragon head being chopped off, the seal was in the secret realm. And this seal was something he had prepared beforehand. Before the great battle had erupted, he had already known the outcome of that calamity. He would lose, and the dragon race would lose. He had even chosen his own grave. Other than that, there were incomparably powerful living creatures guarding the universe mystic realm. They were slaves that had signed a contract with the dragon race, and they had guarded the tombs of Yuan Long for tens of millions of years. They would never let anyone near
Before
the
the
open
tomb.
dragon domain.
Anyone who got
you
close
must
to him
find
would
your
be
own
killed.
body without
Otherwise,
mercy,
you won't be able to
because
open
these
it.
were arranged
The Azure
by
Dragon
the Yuan Long,
ancestor
and were given to
likely
them
said,
by them.
only a
The Azure
true
Dragon
Yuan Long
ancestor
could enter the
and the
open
others
dragon
would know
domain.
clearly.
Only then would they
Naturally,
be able to
they would
awaken
also
the
know
dragon
how
race
savage
that had
the
been in
contracted
slumber
slaves were.
for
Long
hundreds
Fei's
of
heart
years.
trembled.
The
And thought to
roar
himself,
of a Yuan Long,
as expected, the
Long
head of the
Fei
Yuan
said,
Long,
Dragon Head
Head
Mountain,
Mountain,
Sky
is
Sea,
the head of the Yuan
peak
Long
of the
buried
snow-capped
here?
mountain deep in
Long
the earth.
Fei moved.
It seems like I can
and
still
asked,
deal with it.
Then do you
The
mean that I
Azure
have
Dragon
other bodies
ancestor
buried
said,
somewhere else?
This is to guard against
the Azure
outsiders.
Dragon ancestor said.
Once your physical
head is
body
buried
is
at Dragon
damaged,
Head Mountain,
your strength
body
will be
is silent
greatly
in the
weakened.
Sky Sea. Your
Long
dragon
Fei
claw
said,
seal is
I
at
got
the
it.
peak of the
Besides the
snow-capped
dragon
mountain.
head,
Is there
your tail is
anything else
buried
in
in
the
the core of
universe
the
secret
earth.
realm? The Azure Dragon ancestor replied, I only know that there is a dragon head. As for other things, you did not tell me before, but after you died, your weapon also disappeared. As for whether or not it was in the secret realm, that's not clear. Weapon? Long Fei became excited and asked, What weapon? The Azure Dragon ancestor said, Dragon spear, sky-burning dragon gun. Rub. Just by hearing the name, he is already very domineering. Long Fei became excited and said, Azure Dragon, in the future, if you have nothing else to say, tell me more about the past. Also, what is this tribulation you are talking about? The Dragon Clan should have been the hegemons of the gods' martial continent back then, but how did they get crushed like this? Even their captains fell. Aren't they too miserable? Long Fei asked in confusion. The Azure Dragon's expression darkened. Wait for your open dragon domain to know about the tribulation. Once you know about the secret history of the dragon race, you will be clear about it. Now that you're like this, can you still play? Long Fei was annoyed. He still wanted to ask about the relationship between the Long family and the dragon race. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to get the answer out. Long Fei was too lazy to touch that bad luck and said, All right, you can go now. I'll follow your route in the morning tomorrow. The aura of the Azure Dragon ancestor disappeared, and he returned to the green dragon tripod. Long Fei thought, sky-burning dragon gun, could it be in the universe mystic realm? So excited, this gun should be a powerful existence, right? Thinking about it, Long Fei also slowly fell asleep. With Song Qianqian here, he did not need to worry about oversleeping. Moreover, he needed to rest and get his body into a good state. The night passed in silence. Early morning, the first rays of sunlight shone through the gaps between the leaves. Song Qianqian's eyes opened wide, and like an alarm clock, she woke up. She jumped down from the tree branch and stood beside Long Fei. Long Fei had a vulgar expression, with saliva on the corner of his mouth. His expression was as vulgar as it could be. It was like he was in a dream, taking off the clothes of a peerless beauty. Song Qianqian stood at the edge of the hole, watching the sunlight slowly shine down, and the moment the sunlight shone into the hole, she suddenly shouted out, Let's go. The voice carried the penetrating power of the idea, instantly entering Long Fei's mind. His mind exploded, causing a demon to appear within his beautiful dream, which immediately woke him up from his shock. Holy **T. Long Fei cursed. I was just about to succeed. Can you let me finish this dream? Song Qianqian walked to his side, and directly jumped down after picking up his collar without giving Long Fei any time to clear his head. Very overbearing. It was even more domineering than a domineering CEO. High up in the sky, Song Qianqian said, "The secret realm of the universe is extremely dangerous. You have to listen to my commands, otherwise I won't be able to protect you." Long Fei grinned and thought in his heart, "You should listen to me." Boom! The two of them landed on the ground. Song Qianqian looked at the place where the sunlight was shining, and then a strand of energy burst forth from her body and revolved around her palm. The power of the seal. Open! Bam! He struck a rock with his palm. Next, dense runes appeared on the surface of the rock. The runes spread out like a group of tadpoles, covering the entire pit in the blink of an eye. The runes in front of him were even more profound than the runes on the old devil's gravity chains, and the power was even more vigorous. Dragon Clan. Just how strong are you? Long Fei was shocked. Song Qianqian retracted his palm and said, "Go in." After saying that, she pulled Long Fei and walked in. The rock seemed to have turned into mercury, swallowing up the moment it entered. Boom! After a few seconds, his vision suddenly exploded, and Long Fei felt as if he had entered a different world where the corpses inside formed mountains and the color of blood filled the sky. Moreover, countless steps ascended from the sky to the shrine above. If one were to look down at it, they would discover that this was a massive Yin-Yang 8 trigram diagram. This is the heaven and earth secret realm. The place where the dragon's head is buried. A terrifying aura assaulted his face, and Long Fei's entire being seemed to be possessed. His head hurt so much that it felt like it was about to split open as one powerful memory fragment after another awakened in his mind. Chapter 757, Let Me Do It. Chapter 757, Let Me Do It. The moment he stepped into the universe's secret realm, Long Fei's mind was in a mess. Various noises resounded in his mind. Over God race, are you not giving me any chance to live? We've already fled to such a low plane. Why are you chasing after us? 3,330,000 years of tribulations. Are you going to chase and kill them endlessly? Why? Why? Exactly why is this happening? Dragons, 10,000 dragons, listen to my command and kill. Bloody lights covered the sky as heavenly deities descended. They were practically crushing the dragon race with crushing force. The scene was extremely terrifying and terrifying. How powerful were the dragons? However, the dragon race seemed as weak as ants in front of the hierarch, whose bodies were suffused with a golden light and had the power of divinity. Other than a few dragon ancestors that could resist for a while, the other experts of the dragon race were crushed into powder. He wasn't a match at all. The memory fragments continued to jump. Who? Do you really think that your high god race can exterminate all of us dragons? Impossible. We, the Jedi, will not admit defeat. Just you wait. There will be a day when we will return to the divinity. We will definitely let the blood of the divinity flow like a river, and the sun and moon won't shine. Just you wait. Huh? Rumble. A loud sound was heard from the memory shard. One of the overgods flashed with golden light and released 10,000 streams of divine power, crushing an incomparably gigantic dragon god on the ground. He looked at the colossal dragon with disdain and said, "If 1 time is not enough, then we will do it twice. If 2 times is not enough, then we will do it 3 times. This is your 2nd time. There will be a 3rd time, a 4th time, a 5th time, and a 3rd time every 3 million years." Wah! That supreme deity was extremely arrogant. As soon as the divine light exploded from his body, millions of divine powers were released and directly beheaded that huge dragon. The colossal dragon roared. Then wait! Rumble! The memory shards suddenly exploded, causing Long Fei's body to tremble as he was forced to retreat. His face turned pale. It was as if the overgod was not killing a colossal dragon, but him instead. At that moment, even his mind was churning and feeling incomparable discomfort. It felt like he had died once. Song Qianqian saw Long Fei's pale face and immediately asked, "What's wrong with you?" Hoo. Long Fei gasped for breath, gently shook his head. "I'm fine." Cold sweat trickled down his back and palms. Although the description in the memory fragment wasn't much, it was still extremely shocking to Long Fei. Raising both his eyes slightly, he thought to himself, "I don't care about some dragon race's calamity, what 33,000 years, as long as they dare to provoke me and dare to provoke my Long family, I will definitely overturn their 18 generations of ancestors." Long Fei said ruthlessly in his heart. At the same time, his heart was also extremely excited because every member of the overgod race was emitting a golden light, just like the envoy from the underworld. A godlike existence. What could the god-slaying fist possibly drop? How much experience could he gain? "I'm so ***king, looking forward to it." Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and asked no further. Her current goal was to complete the mission, and then said, "Follow me," not waiting for her to finish. Long Fei followed the Azure Dragon ancestor's instructions and walked out, then said to Song Qianqian, who was behind him, "You should be clear about my identity. You also said that I was the only one who could comprehend this place, so if you want to decipher the map, then follow me." He could have gone his own way, because this universe mystic realm is the tomb of a Yuan Long. No matter how smart Song Qianqian was, it was impossible for her to take even a single wrong step. This was the secret of the dragon race. Song Qianqian silently said in his heart as he looked at Long Fei, "Master was indeed right." And then she quickly followed him. On the left, Long Fei stepped forward. The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "Walk 3 steps forward, then jump 2 steps." Long Fei did so again. Song Qianqian followed closely behind Long Fei, and she would do whatever Long Fei did. Half an hour later, Long Fei came to the Yin side of the Yin-Yang 8 trigrams and stood at the edge of the 2 people's huge black eyes. The Yin Qi in the huge eyes was like a sea, faintly emitting out. The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "This Yin eye requires the blood of a virgin to be released. In addition, once the blood of a virgin is released, a contracted slave to protect the tomb will appear. I don't know if he is a human, a demon, or a god, but you should be extra careful." Long Fei looked at Song Qianqian and said, "You should be a virgin, right?" Song Qianqian's expression did not change and coldly replied, "Yes." Usually when a girl was asked a question, she would be either angry or fiercely stared at him. She definitely wouldn't be able to answer that question so straightforwardly. Furthermore, the more pretentious a woman was, the more she was not a virgin. Song Qianqian's answer made Long Fei secretly tremble, and he thought to himself, "What exactly is she hiding in her heart?" Long Fei said, "Drop a drop of your blood essence into the giant eye, and then slowly retreat. Song Chanchan moved his finger, and a drop of blood essence fell into the giant eye. Next, Wang, with a loud bang, the yin qi in the huge eye began to revolve, and a huge swirl penetrated into the dark abyss. Then, an incomparably powerful energy rushed up. Boom! A female giant demon rushed out of the vortex. The armor-clad giant demon's body's fiendish demonic energy could send a person flying. It was incredibly thick. Her cultivation was even more unfathomable. Even Song Qianqian trembled slightly as he became cautious. Yan Huang ancestor warned and said, "Be careful, she's very strong." Long Fei also warned Song Qianqian, "Be careful, she's very strong." The female giant demon stared coldly at Song Qianqian, then looked at Xiang Longfei. Her nose twitched, as if she was looking for something, but in that instant, she became furious. "Those who trespass into the Dragon Head graveyard will die." Boom! The yin qi was like a sea, forming a powerful shockwave and rushing towards Yi Chun. Song Qianqian pulled Long Fei behind him and said, "Hide behind me." The sword in her hand moved. The illusions on the sword overlapped each other, and as if there were 10,000 sword moves, they quickly condensed into sword flowers, shattering the baleful yin force. However, compared to Yin Mo, her cultivation was much lower. Even if her sword moves were too powerful, they still wouldn't be able to shatter all the pressure. Song Qianqian was forced to continuously retreat. He couldn't block it. An ant-like human dares to trespass into the Dragon Head graveyard. You're courting death. Yin Mo let out a cold snort, and his aura became even more powerful. Puchi! Song Qianqian's face paled as he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body sank slightly as well. Long Fei took a step forward and said, "Let me do it." Table of contents. Table of contents. As soon as his voice faded, Long Fei took a step forward. Song Qianqian said, "You are not his opponent. Hide behind me." If even she could not withstand it, how could Long Fei, a third-stage berserker immortal, withstand it? She then pulled Long Fei behind her and tightened the space between her eyebrows as she shouted sinisterly, "I don't believe it!" Buzz! Her aura also exploded. At this moment, Long Fei glared at him furiously. A fairy shadow suddenly floated up from Song Qianqian's body. The nine-heaven fairy shadow floated up. The long sword in his hand transformed into 1,000,000 sword flowers, and the 10,000,000 sword intents also crushed down. A female blood vein of the ninth heaven, peak blood vein of the primordial era, the Yan Huang ancestor quickly said. "I already said that this girl is not simple. I never thought that she would actually be the descendant of the nine heavens profound maiden. It is too inconceivable. The gods' martial continent actually has descendants of the god race." Long Fei was also stunned. A female blood vein of the ninth heaven, a god race descendant. Damn. Isn't this too eye-catching? The face of the Yin Mo also changed, and there was some astonishment in his eyes, but it only lasted for a moment before he laughed in disdain. Profound sky, female, blood vein. What a pity. You can't even use 1/1000th of the nine heavens' mysterious girl's strength. Otherwise, I really wouldn't be her match. Now, leave your blood vein to me. Let me break through the shackles of this heaven and earth secret realm. Yin Mo let out a mournful cry. He withdrew his aura, clenched his right hand, and shot out a rhombus-shaped sword made of yin qi. Absolute yin sword art. Yin sha. As the sword moved, the yin qi in the huge eye roared out in a steady stream. The nine heavens' demoness illusory image blocked the attack. Boom! The two swords crossed, and the sword intent rampaged outwards, causing the entire universe mystic realm to tremble. Buzz! Rumble! With just a thought, Over 100 moves appeared. Long Fei was dazzled. He could not even see clearly. However, he could tell that the 9 heavens profound woman was in a disadvantaged position because Song Qianqian's expression was turning uglier and uglier. She was almost unable to hold on any longer. She couldn't do it anymore. Her body was trembling, her face as pale as a sheet of paper. Azure Dragon, what should I do? Long Fei was very anxious. He should do something. He must do something, but to fight against Yin Mo. He was simply not qualified. The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "The Yin Eye has already been opened, and the Yin Devils have appeared. Right now, you only need to shatter the Yin Eye to cut off the source of the Yin Devil's power. Otherwise, even if an immortal peak realm comes, he will not be a match for the Yin Devils." Shatter the Yin Eye. Long Fei's heart was moved. As soon as the dragon Salyer fell, it roared in his heart, level 5 unparalleled. Open! The air was burning. Long Fei took a step forward. His hands tightly gripped the dragon Salyer and roared, "Dark Dragon God slash!" Roar! Black Dragon Ancestor roared. His sinister shadow rushed out and formed a cold blade chi that chopped down. Rumble! The Yin Eye started to crack, and the Tai Chi Yin plane started to crack. The floating steps dropped down one after another, as if they had lost some kind of support. Yin Mo glared. He stared straight at Long Fei and bellowed, "Kid, who exactly are you?" How did he know about the secret that only a few members of the Dragon Clan had found? Long Fei didn't even bother about him and slashed again. "Gravity knife, 10 times gravity, break for me." "Don't even think about it." Yin Mo's face changed drastically, his figure attacking in the blink of an eye. The powerful Yin Fiend power rushed towards Xiang Longfei. He bellowed, "Die!" The phantom of the 9 heavens demoness also instantly moved. Song Qianqian said weakly, "You only care about the explosions. Leave the rest to me." Long Fei did not care about the Yin demons from the start. The gravity knife slashed down. The cracks on the Yin Eye became larger and larger as a large amount of Yin Qi started to uncontrollably spread out, and the Yin demon's aura also started to become chaotic. "Kid, I'm going to kill you." Yin Mo was furious. If she lost the power in her Yin Eye, then she would be nothing, and the power in her body would quickly dry up. At that moment, the power of the contract would disappear from her body. Although she was a slave of the dragon race and couldn't accept it, she was more afraid of death. Rumble! The Yin sword was like a raging sea. Yin Mo released his strongest power and broke through Xiang Longfei. Long Fei looked at the Yin Eye that was cracking up and bellowed in his heart. Again, "Killing God Chop! Break for me!" Boom! With his strength exploding, Long Fei's entire body's power surged into the dragon Salyer. The power of the god of slaughter burst forth, and the blade slashed down. "No! No, no!" Yin Mo roared out in anger. Her power was being restricted by the 9 heavens demoness. She couldn't kill Long Fei right now. Slash down. Yin Mo shouted crazily. Rumble! The Yin Eye shattered. All of the Yin energy in the Yin Eye collapsed and was instantly devoured without a trace. It was also at this time. All the steps on the Yin side were in a state of collapse. The Azure Dragon ancestor slightly said, "You still have 1 minute to finish the battle. After 1 minute, you will fall into the abyss and will not be able to get back up for the rest of your life. Remember, you must finish the battle within this minute. Remember." The Azure Dragon ancestor began to worry. He was very clear on what kind of space this secret realm was. Chapter 759, Explode for me. Chapter 759, Explode for me. Come on. Come and kill me. Long Fei was very proud, very wild. His arrogance had thoroughly angered Yin Mo. However, this was what Long Fei wanted. as long as he enraged the Een demons, causing her to be unable to control her anger and lose her reason. Under this situation, all of her power would become attack. He would not defend. One move. I only need one move to create a bit of damage. On the surface, Long Fei looked very pleased and arrogant, but his heart was incomparably calm. He was very clear on the strength he had. If he wanted to fight Een Mo one-on-one, the chances of winning was almost zero. Thus, he wanted to suppress her in terms of IQ. The Een Mo was furious. The Een Chi on his body condensed into 10,000 sword intents, crazily piercing Xiang Longfei. Long Fei roared in his heart, "Golden Dragon Protector!" "Golden Dragon," Master shouted excitedly. "Understood." The Azure Dragon Ancestor reminded, "You still have 10 seconds." Bang, bang, bang. The Golden Dragon's defense blocked the demonic's attack, but Long Fei still suffered some injuries. Holy Artifact defense? Een Mo's eyebrows moved as he took a step forward. The Azure Dragon Ancestor said, "There are still 5 seconds left." Long Fei was still standing at his original position, not moving an inch. Watching the Een Devil's palm strike down, Long Fei said in his heart, "Hurry, hurry, hurry up." The Azure Dragon Ancestor said, 2 more seconds." "It's about to sink," Song Chantian also loudly shouted. "Be careful." Een Mo laughed crazily. "Brat, you can go to hell with me." Ha ha ha. Both of Long Fei's fists exploded as he roared out loudly, "Moonlit Step!" Whoosh! Bullet flew into the air. Mountain hit fist. At this moment, all the steps in the Een surface collapsed. The Een Eye, too, fell apart. Een Mo looked at Long Fei, who had leaped into the air, and continued to laugh. "It's no use as long as you leave the Een side. You will be engulfed." Ha ha. "Is that so?" Long Fei grinned. The King Kong Fury Ape on his fists suddenly roared, and with a punch, it struck the Een demon's head. Bam! Een Mo's body sank as a bright red number floated above his head. 1. With the exception of MIS, it was the lowest number in history. He had to say it. This Een demon was too abnormal. When Long Fei used his full strength, he was only able to deal 1 damage. Otherwise, everything would have been in vain. Seeing the red-colored damage figure floating up, Long Fei moved, multiple shadows technique. Open! At this time, Een Mo grabbed onto Long Fei's leg and laughed wildly. "Go to hell with me! Ha ha! You have to die too." She was dead. Even if the stairs did not collapse, she would not be able to hold on for more than a few minutes. With her Een Eye destroyed, her strength would rapidly decline. No matter if she lived or fell, there would only be one outcome: die. It was also because he knew this that Long Fei desperately wanted to create a bit of damage. 1 point was enough. Seeing the Een Mo grabbing onto Long Fei's feet, Song Chantian's heart tightened, feeling extremely worried. "Be careful!" Een Mo's body fell down, laughing maniacally. "Let's go to hell together." Ha ha ha. "Old thing Yuan Long, I've guarded your grave for more than 6 million years. In the end, it's still death. I hate you. I hate your entire dragon clan." Ah! It let out a mournful roar. Long Fei also fell into the abyss of darkness along with her. Song Chantian's eyes darkened, his heart thumped, and he inexplicably felt pain. Long Fei? It's over. Falling into the abyss, it was impossible for him to slap it again. Moreover, this abyss had a powerful devouring force, so no matter how high his cultivation was, he wouldn't be able to fly. Her heart also felt the same as Long Fei's after he sank into the abyss. The corners of his eyes were wet and tears were streaming down his cheeks. At this moment, bang, 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 one figure after another. Long Fei's figures frantically overlapped with each other in the darkness as 10,000 figures fell onto the ground together as fast as lightning. It was as if a ray of light had shot out from the dark abyss. The last figure had his arms wrapped around the stairs and turned to look at the bottomless abyss. Long Fei laughed coldly. "If you want to die, you can go and die. I haven't lived enough." Tens of thousands of figures were moving back and forth in the darkness like a swing. Inemo looked at the 10,000 Long Fei-s and shouted unwillingly, "No, no!" At this moment, the clones could not withstand the devouring power from the abyss. It was all gone. Ah! Inemo let out a pitiful cry as he fell down. At this moment, Long Fei lied on the stairs as he looked at Song Qianqian, who was crying and flirting with him. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and gave him a fierce glare. Long Fei said, "Don't deny it, otherwise why would you cry?" "Let me think. This is our first time meeting in God's Phoenix Pavilion. You wouldn't have fallen for me at that time, right? Could it be love at first sight?" Long Fei continued to tease. Song Qianqian glared at him and said, "Can you not be so narcissistic?" Long Fei replied, "No, Puchi." Song Qianqian could not help but burst out laughing. He was still that mischievous and adorable. Her teary smile made the onlookers' hearts ache. Long Fei then faintly smiled and said, "Your smile is very beautiful. In the future you are not allowed to frown anymore." Song Qianqian's smile immediately retracted, and his eyes became cold again. If she could not complete this mission, she would no longer be able to see her mother. Her mother was the only hope she had in her life. Long Fei looked at her eyes that had turned cold and let out a long sigh. What exactly happened? Yan Huang ancestor laughed and said, "Take her and you will have one more tiger general. Moreover, this girl's potential is so strong that it will explode. I'll definitely be able to help you." Song Qianqian couldn't react in time. Looking at the two swords in her hands, her heart tightened. They were both emitting endless enticement, as if they were tempting her. The 9 Heavens Yin sword's aura was very strong, and it caused a strong impact to her sea of consciousness. It was countless times stronger than the cold sword she used. Then there was the ancient book, which similarly radiated powerful energy. Long Fei looked at her dumbstruck expression. Since he had already given it away, he had no intention of bringing it back. Not waiting for him to finish, Song Qianqian suddenly put away the 2 items and said, "You can't take back the things you have given away." "Huh." Long Fei laughed bitterly and said, "All right, then I won't be going back. But as for the exchange, I hope that you can laugh a bit more in the future, at least once a day." Song Qianqian's eyes darkened. Long Fei said, "Then why not? It's starting again. It's starting again. Isn't it better to be happy? Being happy is a day, and being unhappy is a day. Shouldn't you be having a happy day?" Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, "The things that everyone is carrying are different." Long Fei said, "You're the only one being different. You're the only being pressured. As you said earlier, I'm just another person's chess piece. I can see that you're another person's chess piece, right? No matter who uses us, do not worry, because one day they will pay the price for it." The appearance of the Pan family, the transformation of the Supreme God. Long Fei could understand everything at a glance, even though he still didn't know the conspiracy behind this. Even if he knew, he wouldn't be able to do anything because he was too weak. He had one thing to do right now: become stronger. Strength is an eternal law. Only when you become strong can you shatter the void. With the sleigh, no one can use you to stop you. Song Qianqian went silent. Long Fei looked at her and said, "You already have something for me. Now laugh for me and let this young master laugh for a bit." The corner of Song Qianqian's mouth curled up slightly, and he gave a very forced smile. Under her veil, her smile was stiff. However, It was enough that she could laugh. It was enough that she could take the first step. Long Fei said indifferently, "Girls should smile more. Only then will people like them. It's not good to keep a straight face all day like people owe you money. That's not good." Looking at Song Chantian, he couldn't help but think of Lu Luoshi. He thought to himself, "How are you guys doing?" Long Fei made up his mind and quickly calmed down. He asked, "Azure Dragon, where should we go now?" The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "The third step from the right will be taken." Chapter 761, The Head of the Yuan Long. Chapter 761, The Head of the Yuan, Long Song Chantian, said slightly, "Be careful." Long Fei nodded and said, "You too." Finished. Long Fei walked forward, and with a flick of his finger, a drop of blood essence condensed and dripped onto his yang eye. Next, a vortex appeared in the yang eye just like the yin eye. However, this time, a scorching, unbearably hot, scorching sun aura burst forth from it, flowing without restraint. In contrast to the yin eye, there were no tomb watchers in the whirlpool. Long Fei's heart was moved. "What's going on?" The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "I don't know either. It's also the first time that I've been here." There was nothing in the whirlpool other than the intense yang energy flow. Long Fei's heart shook. Damn, it couldn't have been stolen, right? Is there even a golden field officer in this world? Stolen or the tomb of a dragon leader? Long Fei was dumbstruck. Song Chantian asked, "What's wrong?" Long Fei shook his head and said, "It's a little strange. I feel that something is amiss." Dragon head Qianquan map appeared in his mind. Where the hell is wrong? It's impossible for such a tomb to be stolen. Just what's wrong with it? Where were you last time you came in? Long Fei looked at Song Chantian and asked. Song Chantian said, "I only walked to the location of the Inai, and I almost lost my life." At this time, she didn't try to hide anything, as Long Fei had definitely walked in with her. Looking at the vortex of the blazing sun, Long Fei said, "There is no giant tomb guardians, no sky-burning dragon gun, and even more so no dragon heads. Could it be that this is an empty tomb? F***CK. Long Fei cursed angrily in his heart. The matter of crippled brains is truly annoying. "I'm going all out." Long Fei turned around and said to Song Chantian, "If I don't come out, you need to think of a way to leave by yourself. Remember what I said. Finished." His body fell back. Song Chantian was shocked and shouted loudly, "Don't." When she rushed over, Long Fei had already fallen. The moment he fell, his yang eyes were immediately closed. Other than a thick piece of rock, there was nothing else. It was as if Long Fei had never appeared. Song Chantian crazily struck at his yang eyes, causing his blood essence to drip, but to no avail. The yang eyes did not open again. "What do you think you are? Do you think I want to live a happy life just because you made me happy? You're too arrogant. Come back here. Come back." "Woo, woo, woo," Song Chantian shouted, and in the end started to bawl loudly, crying his heart out, as though she was a little girl who had lost something important. Crash! At the same time, the sky darkened as a figure landed heavily on the ground. Boom! A huge demon that was clad in heavy armor and had a blazing sun aura flowing in the gaps of its heavy armor descended. He really didn't like the way she spoke to him, just because he hated such a proud and arrogant manner. He wanted to teach him a lesson. Very unhappy, Dragonhead Idea said, "Who am I? I am you, and you are me. It's just that you have yet to awaken your memories. Stop. Hurry up and stop." Long Fei sneered and said, "You are you, and I am me. Don't mix us together. We are not the same type of person." Long Fei was very clear about this from the beginning. The Yuan Long is the Yuan Long, and he is him. He would not become the Yuan Long's reincarnation. The dragon head idea sank and said, "Do you really think so? The Long family is the dragon race, and the dragon race is the Long family. You were selected by me 6 million years ago. It's that again." Long Fei laughed. The Azure Dragon ancestor had once said the same thing. However, why is the dragon race a Long family? Why is the Long family a dragon? Long Fei still couldn't understand. Just because of the blood veins inheritance? Why did they say that the dragon race was the Long family, and the Long family was the dragon race? Long Fei continued to speak. "The person you chose for 6 million is already dead. The current me is not the person you chose for me. I am me, not anyone." He was a transcender. It was not the person chosen by the dragon head. The dragon head idea sunk once again and said, "You said that you are not the person I have chosen. Then why did you come here? And why did you listen to the guidance of the green dragon?" Long Fei grinned. His smile was very sinister as he said, "It's very simple because I want to take your strength for myself." Chapter 762, Sky-Burning Dragon Gun Attacks. Chapter 762, Sky-Burning Dragon Gun Attacks. The Azure Dragon trembled. The Blood Dragon shook as well. Black Dragon Ancestor, Ancestor Ghost Dragon, and the Golden Dragon Master were all shocked. They were shocked by Long Fei's words. And take the power of Yuan Long for itself. It's not their boss trying to possess them, but Long Fei trying to seize their boss's body. The situation had changed too quickly. They could not react in time. All this while, they had always thought that Long Fei was the Yuan Long, the leader of the Dragon Clan, their boss. Long Fei actually wanted to occupy the power of the head of the Yuan Long S. This, the Black Dragon immediately asked, "Azure Dragon, what's going on?" The Blood Dragon quickly asked, "Did something go wrong?" Jin Long was also worried. "Did we find the wrong person?" Ghost Dragon said, "Impossible. In this world, only boss's blood essence can wake us up, activate us, and no one else can." The Azure Dragon ancestor slightly said, "Ghost Dragon is right. In this world, only boss blood essence can wake us up. Why is it like this? I don't know either." He thought desperately. What had gone wrong? But he couldn't understand. The Azure Dragon asked the Black Dragon, "You've been following the boss the longest. Is there anything special about him?" The Black Dragon shook its head. "He's crazy, arrogant, and tyrannical. He hates evil, and his breakthrough is like flying. Moreover, everyone who follows him will be infected by his personality, and all of them will die for him. It doesn't matter if they are brothers or women. Isn't this the same as our boss? What's going on?" How could they have known that Long Fei was a transcender? Who would have thought that Long Fei on Earth had already possessed Long Fei on the gods' Martial Continent? Who would have thought? Even if they were Dragon Clan ancestors, they wouldn't have thought of such a thing. They had never even heard of the word crossing before. What do we do now? Should I stop him? Jin Long asked. Ghost Dragon said, "Big Brother Azure Dragon, say something. Should we stop him? If he really takes the power of the dragon head for himself, then when will our boss return? If he couldn't return, then who would be able to lead the Dragon Clan through this tribulation? There are only 5 years left." The Azure Dragon ancestor was also struggling in his heart. Yuan Long were too strong. He had planned out what would happen millions of years later, and one by one, all of these were part of his plans. But now that something like this had happened, the Azure Dragon knew how to deal with it. Moreover, the key point was that Long Fei had not awakened Yuan Long's memories yet. Was it because of this? At this moment, both the head and the head of the Azure Dragon were on the verge of exploding. Suddenly, Long Fei's idea moved and said solemnly, I don't know what happened 6 million years ago, nor do I know what kind of calamity the dragon tribe was. But there is one thing I can guarantee. You are brothers. I will not let you die in vain. As for the calamity of the dragon race, I will endure it for sure. At this moment, he had to get help from the Azure Dragon and the others. At this moment, Azure Dragon's heart sank as he resolutely said, "Everyone, help him." Understood. Roger that. Make the absolute decision in an instant, and Patriarch 5 Dragon's power will swiftly enter Long Fei's body. Along the way, they had clearly seen everything that Long Fei had done. Perhaps this was the Yuan Long's plan, and it was also his plan from 6,300,000 years ago. 1. Asterisk Long Fei's body trembled. The powerful aura of a dragon burst out, covering the sky and the earth. The dragon head's voice was filled with rage. Azure Dragon, Golden Dragon, Black Dragon, Ghost Dragon, Blood Dragon, what are you all doing? Didn't you hear what he said? Take control of him, and let me enter his body to possess him. Long Fei laughed out wildly and said, "Times are changing, people are changing too. I am the true king of the dragon race. I am the hope of the dragon race. It's just a 6 million-year-old corpse. Don't worry. What you have failed to accomplish, I will succeed. I will be able to protect the things that you cannot protect. I will be much more powerful than you. Head of the Yuan Long, give me your power." Long Fei's heart exploded, and he roared out, "Azure Dragon, appear." Roar. The green dragon within the green dragon tripod soared into the air. He was ignited by Long Fei's words, especially the domineering attitude of the king of the dragon tribe. Extremely arrogant. At the same time, the 8 golden dragons followed closely behind. "Come." Black Dragon Ancestor also rushed out of the dragon sallier. Ghost Dragon, the blood dragon, also rushed out from Long Fei's body. 12 Dragon Clan patriarchs, who were also 12 Dragon Clan generals, surrounded the dragon head. At this moment, the roared out from the dragon head, "Fentian!" Buzz. The sound of snatching shook the surroundings, and it seemed as if the sky was about to split open. The sky-burning dragon gun burst out with golden light. Bam! The dragon spear exploded with power. The dragon tattoos on the spear began to emit a golden light, and the power of the burning heaven began to dissipate. The spear moved. Boom! It pierced through the void and stabbed towards Xian Longfei. The Azure Dragon Ancestor shouted, "Boss, be careful!" The 8 golden dragons also revolved instantly and flew towards Xian Longfei, but they were too far away from him. There was simply no time to return to Long Fei's body. At this moment, Long Fei roared out and said, "Nobody comes." And then Long Fei stood in place, unmoving. There was no aura or energy flowing out from his body, not even one bit. His 2 eyes looked at the sky-burning dragon gun that was piercing towards him without blinking. "Fentian, kill him." "Ha ha ha. Boy, you were created by me. If I can make you, I can destroy you." The arrogant voice of the dragon head sounded. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he laughed disdainfully. "I have never belonged to anyone. I am me, a super handsome guy." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's eyes darkened. He stared at the sky-burning dragon gun and said, "I'm going to ask you one thing. Do you want to go out? Do you want a wonderful life? Do you want your blood boiling? Do you want to be the center of attention? Or should I say, you want to stay silent here and sink in for another 6 million years, or even longer? Do you?" Word for word. Every word pierced the heart. Every word carried killing intent. Long Fei was unable to withstand the power that erupted from the sky-burning dragon gun's body. No one could stop him. However, Long Fei knew what a weapon wanted. He wanted to be the overlord of all weapons, just like how a martial artist wanted to be the strongest king. The sky-burning dragon gun had been quiet for 6 million years. He was unknown, and no one in the entire god's martial continent remembered his existence. In this dragon-head graveyard, he was nothing but a useless metal pillar. The sky-burning dragon gun thrust it forward. The azure dragon ancestor's heart tightened, and the other patriarch's expressions changed greatly as well. He thought to himself, "It's over. Boss is going to die." Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Power of Yuan Long. Do you wish to fuse it? Fuse. Buzz. The incomparably strong power of Yuan Long followed Long Fei's action and burst out from his body crazily. This was the first time Long Fei felt such a strong feeling. An unending stream. This is power. Is this the power of a Yuan Long? This is too exciting. Long Fei's entire being was boiling. Boom. The black dragon drilled into Long Fei's body. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Power of Yuan Long. Do you wish to fuse it? Fuse. Long Fei did not hesitate and continued to fuse them. Every fusion of his energy was a crazy upgrade, and his memory fragments also started to reform bit by bit. He saw images from 6 million years ago. He saw the dragon domain. It was a continent floating in the sky. Tens of thousands of dragons flew. All races paid their respects. Master of the world. This feeling was too strong. Moreover, the golden light shot out in all directions from one side of the continent. It was not the light of a boss, but rather a mountain of spirit treasure, holy artifact. Is this the secret treasure of the dragon clan? F***CK. He's mine. 10 chapters of Berserk today. 7 chapters first in the morning, 3 chapters more today. Right now, the gigantic dragon had still had a lot of energy left, but to Long Fei, this was already enough, because he had already fused with the body of a dragon head. Even if he were to merge again, it would be useless. Immediately, Long Fei said, "As for the remaining dragon head energy, you all absorb it yourselves. How to distribute it among yourselves, the important thing is to be fast." His heart was shocked once again. This dragon head's power is too strong. The dragon head that had completed its fusion in Long Fei's mind floated in his sea of consciousness. He could clearly feel the power of the dragon head, and he could control it however he wished. Can they transform into dragons? Long Fei moved. The system sounded out immediately. Ding. The technique failed. The incomplete dragon body is unable to transform into a dragon. As expected, Long Fei's heart felt at ease. Seems like I have to look for the Yuan Long's body and complete the fusion to become it. At that time, you must have been extremely domineering. At the same time, Long Fei looked at the new skill that he had just acquired. Skill path, Yuan Long God, less spear technique rank. Dragon Clan secret skill, high god level, consumption, 100,000 power of celestial description. This spear technique only has one move. There will be no life or death, and once it is released, the world will be destroyed. Description 2. This cultivation technique can only be used with the sky-burning dragon gun. Description 3. The power of destruction is too strong. If you don't live, you die. Use it carefully. Let me do it. To think you're reminding me to use it with caution. If there's such a description of a cultivation technique, then how powerful is this move? Could it be that it is more harmful than the big day Tashigata? Long Fei's heart started boiling. The turn Yen Long into God required 1,000,000 points of power of celestial to be used. He did not know how strong the damage was, but right now, Long Fei's cultivation technique was the most powerful. However, The description of the big day, Tashigata, also did not make him use it with caution. It could be seen that the Yuan Long's godless spear was even fiercer than Tathagata's. Ding, do you wish to cultivate it? Long Fei could not wait, and said, Cultivate, we must cultivate. Ding, congratulations to player Long Fei for training the Yuan Long godless spear. You have gained 100 experience points. Power of Celestial, 100 points. The reward is a special 100-point reward. Bam! Suddenly, a loud sound rang out. Song Qianqian's yang eyes were pierced through by Yang Mo's blade, and he landed heavily on the ground. Song Qianqian spat out a mouthful of blood, but she did not stop. It was the first time she had failed to protect what she wanted to protect. This time, she wasn't even protecting him. What's the use of me? Chapter 765, Death Mode Instant Killer. Chapter 765. Death Mode Instant Killer. In such a situation, Long Fei no longer cared so much. At this moment, he had to be lethal or Song Qianqian would definitely die. Burning heaven! Use your power. Long Fei roared. The idea activated the Yuan Long godless spear technique. Roar! With a loud sound, the power of Celestial in his 100,000 points disappeared. The dragon head in his sea of consciousness roared, and Long Fei's entire body entered a state of death. Death state. Ding! Player Long Fei has entered into an extremely dangerous state. If the target doesn't die, the fleshly body will collapse. The system sounded out. Long Fei was shocked. Is this what it means to be alive, or to be dead? Life without death. Long Fei's arrogant aura burst forth. The dragon spear in his hand thrusted forward. This move was extremely simple, as though it was a normal attack. However, if he was locked down by the dragon spear, he wouldn't be able to escape. This was the most terrifying existence. Burning heaven angry, he knew what kind of state Long Fei had entered, and it was not easy for him to jump out from the dragon tomb, as he definitely did not want Long Fei to die just like that. Thus, his strength also erupted to its peak. Yang Mo roared out, The blade chi rushed towards the sky and cut down towards Song Qianqian. Die! Long Fei also followed and roared, Go to hell! Crack! The dragon spear rushed out and stabbed into Yang Mo's body. In that moment, the power of the dragon spear exploded inside Yang Mo's body. At the same time, Yang Mo's power was frantically being absorbed by Long Fei. However, he was still on the edge of death, and if Yang Mo did not die, he would die. This gun was simply too overbearing. Rumble! 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 Yang Mo's body exploded crazily. His mouth was also spitting out fresh blood. The blade chi was quickly shrinking. He turned his head to look at Long Fei and said, Yuan Long, you will die a horrible death. Ah! He screamed out in pain. Yang Mo's figure split apart and was eventually shaken into fine powder by the power released by the dragon spear. Bam! With a loud bang, his body dissipated into the air. At this moment, Long Fei's body became paralyzed and started to pant heavily the moment Yang Mo died. He finally came back to life from the brink of death. It was too uncomfortable. The feeling of death was too unbearable. This kind of spear technique must not be used carelessly in the future. It's too freaking scary. Long Fei's palms were all drenched in cold sweat, and at least he knew what it meant by live and die. However, the damage from this move, it really exploded. With the HP of tens of millions on top of Yang Mo's head, the damage of this spear was much more than that of a nuclear bomb. Long Fei was also extremely excited in his heart. The Yuan Long God less spear technique was not just any ordinary technique, and that was because Long Fei's cultivation was only at arrogant immortal state, and was unable to release the power of this technique. He was also unable to unleash the power of the sky-burning dragon gun. If Long Fei was able to release the power of the dragon spear, he would not need to use the Yuan Long God, less spear technique. This was the importance of levels. If your cultivation is not enough, you will not be able to unleash the power of a divine weapon. No matter how powerful the holy artifact was, it would only raise one's strength by a tiny bit, and would not be able to unleash the strongest power within the holy artifact. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yang Mo for obtaining 190,000 experience, 100,000 power of celestial S, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Flaming Sunblade. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Baleful Yang Blood Vein. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1 Yang Crystal. Do you wish to absorb it? Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Berserker Immortal level 4. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Wild Immortal grade 5. 2 levels consecutively increased. Just now, when he killed Mo, his experience bar was already full. He was just a little bit away from leveling up. Long Fei needed 20 million experience points to level up now. Ding! The Yang Sha Blood Vein was swallowed by the Dragon Salyer. Ding! The Scorching Sun Saber has been broken down and swallowed. Long Fei had also gotten used to it. One was eaten by the Dragon Salyer, and the other was eaten by the Yen Huang ancestor. However, there was one more thing. Yang Crystal. Long Fei asked, "Ancestor, what is this?" The corner of Yen Huang ancestor's mouth twitched, and he laughed sinisterly. "Brat, this is a good thing. It is even more powerful and tyrannical than those bull whips, tiger whips, or elephant whips. It's a must for men. If you fuse them, it's definitely 7 times a night. From one to the other, it's the light of the heavens, the goddess of war." You want to become a Yuan Long, about the power of dragons. How can you control countless women without this Yang Crystal? It will benefit you to fuse with a girl, and it will also increase your fire cultivation technique. Long Fei shook, and laughed slyly as well, saying, "Hearing you say it like this, I don't even have a choice but to fuse them?" Yen Huang ancestor said, "Fusion must be done." Long Fei moved his body and said, "Merge." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for absorbing Yang Crystal. However, your focus should still be on the brat from Long family. He should be the person in the prophecy and will definitely be able to find the dragon domain. Supreme God immediately replied, "Disciple understands." Even if the immortal domain S were destroyed and their spirits burnt to ashes, as long as they could find the dragon domain and cultivate the longevity arts that the dragon race brought from the other realms, it wouldn't be a problem. Gu Tongtian's lifespan was disappearing day by day, and he could already feel the death scythe on his neck. If he could not obtain an even stronger power, he would die of old age. He did not want to die. Western Devil Lord was the same. Even though he had been trapped in the seal for millions of years, his lifespan had stopped during those millions of years. If he wanted to gain more longevity, he could only find the Dragon Clan secret treasure. He could also feel the loud noise coming from the sky above Dragonhead Mountain. The great wheel of history is starting to turn. A storm is about to break. The Western demon's eyes were sharp like torches. The devil flames on their bodies expanded even further and said softly, "I am afraid Song Qianqing alone is not enough." Furthermore, Song Qianqing is an old fox himself. I cannot place all my hopes on him. The Dragonhead Qianquan map has been decoded. The next stage will be the dragon's body, dragon claws, and dragon tails. Once these secret realms have been decoded, the dragon domain will appear once more. I have to prepare in advance. Western Devil Lord's thoughts flew. And then his idea moved and said, "Pass down my order. Send some people to shed the demon's skin and enter the God Emperor Academy. I want to control that brat from time to time." "Yes, sir." At this time, a man in his 20s stood in front of the devil ancestor and said, "Master, let me go. I have already cultivated the blood immortal peak realm." The Western Devil Lord looked at the young man and smiled, saying, "Your focus right now should be on training. When you break through the golden immortal rank, I will let you go and train." His name is Zhou Lai, young Devil Lord. He was also a descendant of the Western Devil Lord, and his talent improved by leaps and bounds due to him. He was the #1 genius among the Western demons. In another place, Dark Domain, Qianji City, Song Qiancheng frowned and asked, "Does Miss still not have any information to report?" The old man shook his head and said, "I have tried several times, but have not been able to hear the young lady's reply. I am worried that—" Not waiting for him to finish, Song Qiancheng said angrily, "Just what does this girl want to do? I'll definitely show her when I return." The old man shivered and suppressed the words in his heart. It was obvious. The reason he kept him in the God Emperor Academy should be so that he, the open dragon domain, could hunt cicadas and orioles and reap benefits from them. Dragon territory. Why are they looking for the dragon domain? For the treasures of the dragon clan. If they were at the highest level, why would they need to care about those treasures? Long Fei couldn't wrap his head around it. He naturally didn't know that the secret treasures of the dragon race contained innate techniques that would lead to the state of immortality. Song Qianqian did not answer directly. Instead, he looked at Long Fei and said, "I'm going out for a while." Long Fei shrugged and said, "You are still very weak. It's best not to go too far." Song Qianqian ignored him and walked out. Long Fei continued to guess in his heart. Dark Domain, Immortal Domain's Tong Tian Hall of Immortals. Seems like I am quite popular. They should know about the Dragon Head Qianquan map breaking this time. Will they start attacking me? Humph. It's only the fusion of the dragon head, the dragon body, the dragon claw, and the dragon tail. If I can completely fuse these 3 parts, then I shouldn't have to be afraid of anyone anymore, right? Once he finished fusing with the body of a Yuan Long, he would be a true Yuan Long. In that case, in this world, how many people were his opponents? Dark Domain Lord? The supreme god of the heavenly hall of immortals? Long Fei asked in his heart. Azure Dragon, where are the other parts of the body buried? The Azure Dragon ancestor replied, "I only know how to decipher the tomb. As for where, I don't know either. This needs you to go find it yourself." The Yuan Long only told him the method and not the specific location. Moreover, 6 million years of change, where you might have changed your name. You have no idea. Long Fei sighed in his heart. So it's like that. The Azure Dragon ancestor said, "Boss, just fusing with the body of a Yuan Long is not enough for you. This won't allow you to find the dragon domain, not to mention that your dragon claw is hidden in the dragon domain. Only by finding the dragon domain can you fuse with the power of your dragon claw." Long Fei said, "That means to say the fusion of the Yuan Long's body isn't the key to open the dragon domain?" The Azure Dragon ancestor shook his head and said, "No, we don't know what it is either. Only you know, and only you can find it. You should be searching for the secret to unravel dragon domain in your dragon head's memories using the power of the head of the fused Yuan Long. We can't help you with these things." Long Fei said, "I am not asking for your help. You all do not need to come out and help me, just like you said before. You all have to walk your own paths. Only then will you all be able to walk one step at a time and become more dependable." The Azure Dragon ancestor became excited, and in his heart, he admired Long Fei even more. At this time, Song Qianqian walked back with a sunken expression. She wanted to hide the pain in her eyes, but was unable to. Long Fei asked with concern. "What's wrong?" Song Qianqian replied. "Nothing. I'm leaving." Long Fei was startled and asked suddenly, "You're leaving? Go back to the God Emperor Academy." Song Qianqian replied, "Yes, Dark Domain." She was going back to receive her punishment because her master, who was also her father, was very dissatisfied with this mission. Therefore, she wouldn't be able to see her mother for 2 years. And punished, Long Fei asked, "Is it because of this mission?" At this moment, he really wanted to say the matter of him fusing the power of the dragon head and the sky-burning dragon gun, but the words were already on the tip of his tongue, and he held them in. Song Qianqian said, "This mission has nothing to do with me." Finished, Song Qianqian turned around and walked out of the cave entrance. She stood at the cave entrance and looked at the sky full of stars, and after brewing for a few seconds, she took off her veil. Then she smiled faintly at Long Fei. "Smile every day. In the future, besides being by mother's side, I will only leave my smile for you." Long Fei was stunned. He was completely shocked. That smile, it was incomparably enchanting, like a bunch of blossoming peach blossoms in spring. It was so enchanting, so captivating, and so intoxicating. Moreover, that face was also incomparably exquisite. However, there was a hint of worry in his eyes, a heartache. At this moment, Long Fei was captivated by her. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, "My name is Song Qianqian. I will remember what you have said. I will definitely live a good day, happily." Finished, she put on the veil, and with a movement of her body, Xiao He summoned her. Then her voice sounded out in Long Fei's mind, "Be careful of Supreme God." Chapter 768, Not Thinking. Chapter 768, Not Thinking with That. Blackie rose from the ground and disappeared into the night. Long Fei stood in place. Song Qianqian's smile continued to circle around in his mind. "It was really fascinating," Yan Huang ancestor said. "Kid, we are already thousands of kilometers away. Have you not reacted yet? Don't be noisy. Leave me alone." Long Fei was still immersed in his thoughts. Yan Huang ancestor disdainfully said, "Brat, have you forgotten something?" Long Fei said, "Have you forgotten the method of contacting me? WeChat, QQ, or phone?" Yan Huang ancestor was completely confused. He didn't know what WeChat, QQ, and the phone number were. "You forgot to ask her to give you the heaven continuing grass, the stem of the divine cultivating flower, and the underworld sea mud." Holy SH *T. Long Fei's heart sank. "I forgot about that." Ancestor, your sister, why didn't you remind her earlier? He remembered this matter from the beginning, but in the end, he was completely captivated by Song Qianqian's smile and forgot about it. Yen Huang Ancestor said, "Serves you right." Long Fei looked in the direction that Song Qianqian disappeared in and muttered, what the movie says is correct. The more beautiful a woman is, the more one would not believe it. I, Long Fei, have always been smart. How could I have been careless at this critical juncture? He did not know where to look for these three things. This time, if he went back, he still wouldn't be able to find anything. What if he went to face old Xiao? Long Fei started to blame himself in his heart. Women, we can't let our heads go muddled. Otherwise, everything will be ruined. Long Fei secretly sighed in his heart, looked at the night sky, and said, "I'll also leave. This place is too dangerous for me to be alone." Long Fei did not plan to level up at Dragon Head Mountain. If it were just him alone, he wouldn't have more than 3 days to live here. However, sooner or later, he would come back. This kind of demon-beast experience was simply too great. Song Qianqian, who had disappeared into the distance. She sat on Black's back, a little distracted. Little Black, will he remember me? Will he remember my name? It was unknown why she felt a little reluctant to leave, but when she was with Long Fei, she felt very relaxed. Moreover, Long Fei would make some very funny movements from time to time, and some very funny words. Taking out the 9 Heavens Divine sword, Song Qianqian looked at the sword and muttered to himself, "Is this a token of love that he gave me?" Blackie suddenly roared, indicating its resistance. However, it was as if Song Qianqian didn't hear him. Her cheeks were red like peach blossoms. A girl in love. 6 days later, Long Fei finally returned to the God Emperor city. Walking into the God's Phoenix Pavilion, he discovered that the business there had actually been restored. If there is a type of pill that the Pan clan cannot replicate, perhaps we would be able to have a fight in the pill market. The Long Yang pill that Long Fei created last time had been copied by the Pan family. Moreover, after a few modifications, the effect was even stronger than the Long Yang pill refined by Long Fei. In addition to the suppression by the Pan clan, the Long Yang pill of the Fengyuan Merchant Union could not be sold at all. No one cared. Long Fei felt a shiver in his heart. A pill that no one else can copy, right? Fu Tianlong immediately said, "Young Master Long, now that you have entered the God Emperor Academy and focused all your attention on cultivation, this is more important than anything else. We will settle the matter of the Fengyuan Merchant Union on our own." Fu Shishan had once said that he couldn't trouble Long Fei anymore. Long Fei laughed. "I will not delay my cultivation. I am currently in God Emperor Academy. Very well. You tell Sister Yinshan not to worry. I won't be eating here. Pack a few dishes for me, and I'll go back to eat." A few minutes later, Long Fei carried the packaged delicacies and walked in the direction of the God Emperor Mountain. On the way, he took a look around, and only a few people were interested in the Fengyuan Merchant Union shops, even if it was the lowest price. "Sister Yinshan, how heavy is your burden?" Long Fei thought in his heart, "I must help you." He engraved the matter of Fu Shishan saving his grandfather in his heart. As long as he could help, Long Fei would not be stingy. He would do his best to help. Right now, the Fengyuan Merchant Union could not hold on much longer in God Emperor City. Fu Shishan had been working day and night to help the Fengyuan Merchant Union rise to power. The higher echelons of the Fengyuan Merchant Union had already informed him if he was unable to recover within half a year, he would evacuate from God Emperor City. Fu Shishan did not want to retreat, because evacuation meant that she had to leave the God Emperor City, and she had to leave the place where Long Fei was. She did not want to leave Long Fei like Fireglass City. I don't want to. Chapter 769, Brothers Beat Up. Chapter 769, Brothers Beat Up. Has young Master Long come back yet? It's already been half a month. Why hasn't he come back yet? Zheng Qingsong asked anxiously in the courtyard of logistics department. He was very anxious. Not just him. Wang Qingshan, Han Xueji, and the big-sized man beside Han Xueji were also extremely anxious. There were a few new wounds on the big guy's body. The Sun Data asked, what exactly happened? During this period of time, they practically came every day to ask Long Fei if he had returned. Logistics department had never seen so many official disciples, and a few of them were high-ranking senior brother S. This made them feel fear and trepidation. Zheng Qingsong said, it's useless to tell you. Did he tell you when he would be back? Wang Qingshan shouted. Qingsong, pay attention to the tone. Senior brother's son entered the academy earlier than you did. You should call him senior brother. The Sun Datu immediately said, it's fine. Long Fei didn't tell us anything after he left, and I'm not sure when he'll be back either. Sai, what should we do? Zheng Qingsong was burning with anxiety and said, it's still 3 days away, but we still lack over 100 points to qualify to enter the ranking tournament. But if we do not gather all the points within 3 days, we, the Arrogant Dragon Squad, will not have the qualifications to participate in the ranking tournament. Damn, the Blood Skeleton Battle Team is really too despicable. Zheng Qingsong cursed fiercely. Wang Qingshan and the others were also silent. Indeed, before they did not understand, but now they finally knew how despicable the Blood Skeleton Battle Team was. In another place, White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Xiongfeng laughed out loud. The Dead Dog Squad is pretty much the same. You think you can go against us Blood Skeleton? You can't play with him. Brother Feng, you heavily injured Dao Feng this time, and he won't be able to complete the mission. As soon as Dao Feng falls, the Arrogant Dragon Squad will lose its Dragon Claw, and they will lose more than 100 points to participate in the tournament. In 3 days, their registration will be stopped, and they will definitely not be able to gather enough points. And at that time, they will really become a dead dog squadron. Ha ha ha. A few members of the Blood Skeleton Battle Team laughed out loud. Xiongfeng slightly said, this still requires our boss. With just a little bit of power, he managed to make Han Xueji, Wang Qingshan, and the others unable to leave the God Emperor Academy. If we're grounded, how are we supposed to complete the team quests? How do I earn task credit? Ha ha ha. Play with me. I'll play with you until you die. Xiongfeng laughed complacently. Zhou Ling said slightly, Brother Feng, I want another Long Fei as well, if he takes out a mission. The corners of Xiongfeng's eyes turned cold, and he laughed in disdain. What is there to worry about when you're at the first stage of the Berserk Immortal Realm? Even if he was given a year, he still wouldn't be able to complete the 100 points mission. Don't worry. Arrogant Dragon Squad will definitely be trampled to death by me. Xiongfeng said in disdain as he thought to himself. Moreover, that Long Fei kid still has his weakness in our hands. If he dares to act recklessly, Xiongfeng smirked. I will break the bones of those two old fellows. Everything was under control. Blood Skeleton was like this. In order to reach their goal, they would use any means available, regardless of whether you're strong or weak. Once you've been identified as an enemy, there will be no room for you to spare. You will definitely not have any chance to threaten them. In this year's Blood Skeleton Battle Team ranking tournament, they must definitely enter the top 3. No one could stop him. Holy SH *T. God Emperor Mountain is really high. I almost fell down from exhaustion. carrying a few delicacies, Long Fei finally climbed up the mountain peak and walked towards the logistics department. When he walked into the courtyard of the logistics department, he was stunned and said, "You are all here? Damn. You guys didn't know that I brought back food to guard here, right?" Long Fei muttered, but looking at their expressions, it seemed that something was wrong. When Zheng Qingsong saw that Long Fei had returned, he immediately pounced on him as if he had seen his father. "Young Master Long, you're finally back." Han Xueji also followed and said, "You damned ghost, where have you been these past few days? I missed you so much." Wang Qingshan also let out a sigh of relief and said, "Long Fei, you're finally back. We're all going to die of anxiety." All of a sudden, the yard was in an uproar. Long Fei asked, "What happened? It's almost dark. What are you guys doing here? Are you trying to clean me up?" Zheng Qingsong said anxiously, "Young Master Long, you're still in the mood to joke? Something big has happened, and senior brother Dao Feng has been beaten up." "Who?" Long Fei was immediately enraged. Dao Feng was a person who valued friendship greatly. Furthermore, he did not put on any airs, so the 16th ranked Holy Sword troopers wrote him off immediately. Long Fei valued them a lot. Hearing that he had been beaten up, the rage in his heart burst out. Zheng Qingsong said, "Blood Skeleton's Xiong Feng, he was the one who planned all of this." "Blood Skeleton again?" Long Fei's brows tightened. "Where is Xiong Feng?" "Take me with you. I'll cripple him." He couldn't tolerate it for even a moment. Zheng Qingsong immediately became excited and pulled Long Fei along, wanting to head towards the White Tiger courtyard. He was stopped by Wang Qingshan and said, "Qingsong, can you not cause a ruckus?" Zheng Qingsong was startled, but also immediately stopped. Wang Qingshan looked at Long Fei and said, "I won't be able to explain it to you in a while. Young Master Long, our arrogant dragon squad points are still 130 points away before we can fill 500 points, and there's still 3 days until we have to register. If we don't gather all of the points within 3 days, we won't be qualified to participate in this ranking tournament." Wang Qingshan continued to speak. "Originally, we could have completed over 100 points, but we don't know what kind of relationship the Blood Skeleton has with them. We are all grounded. That means we can't leave the God Emperor Academy and can't complete the mission." Zheng Qingsong interrupted. "Blood Skeleton is really too treacherous." Han Xueji said, "Blood Skeleton is backed by the White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training, one of the 4 matrial halls. Their power is very strong. As long as we use a little of their connections, we will not be able to complete the mission. You are the only one left in our arrogant dragon squad." Everyone looked at Long Fei. All hope was placed on Long Fei. Wang Qingshan said, "Slightly, senior brother Dao Feng will be staying in the God Emperor Academy for the last year, and next year they will graduate and leave the God Emperor Academy. This is his last ranking tournament. He always wanted to enter the top 10 teams." The words were heavy. Suppressing the anger in Long Fei's heart, he calmed down and asked, "How is senior brother Dao Feng now?" Han Xueji replied, "Right now, there's no danger to his life, but he needs to rest for at least 2 months before he can recover. If he can enter the team ranking tournament, he should be able to recover before the ranking tournament. If he rested for 2 months, that would mean his injuries were extremely severe." Long Fei clenched his teeth and roared loudly. He thought to himself, "If you dare touch my brother, I will sacrifice your ancestor's grave." Chapter 770 Oil Exhaustion. Chapter 770 Oil Exhaustion. Long Fei never thought that he would be ambushed while he was gone. Arrogant Dragon Squad was grounded. His only hope now lay in him. Moreover, with only 3 days left, it was extremely difficult for him to be alone. It was too late. Furthermore, with Long Fei alone, the danger factors for the team missions were too high, making it even more difficult for Long Fei alone. Long Fei said, "Brother Qingshan, please help me pick out the missions tomorrow. If the points are around 150 points, settle it in one go." Han Xueji immediately asked, "Are you crazy?" Zhang Qingsong was also shocked and said, "Young Master Long, you can't be reckless. A team mission is different from an individual mission. The difficulty level of the team missions is quite high. The 150 points of difficulty level is at least an A-grade pinnacle mission. You can't complete it by yourself." Wang Qingshan also said, "That's right, although 3 days is a short amount of time, if I can complete 2B level team missions, I should be able to get enough points." The difficulty factor of a B-class mission and A class mission were worlds apart. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "When I return, Blood Skeleton will definitely know about the news tomorrow. With Xiong Feng's character, he will definitely obstruct us. We definitely won't be able to receive a B-level mission. They definitely won't be able to think of us accepting the A-class mission. As for the danger factor, I can even kill Ghost Dragon. You don't have to worry about me." Long Fei had no other choice. Since the Blood Skeleton wanted to do something to them, he would not let them easily receive a B-level mission. As for the A-class mission, Long Fei did not have absolute confidence, but he liked challenging higher difficulty missions. The most important part was that he was not happy with the Blood Skeleton team. It was fine to touch him, but not his brother. "If you want to play, then I'll play with you." It all depended on who could play who better. Wang Qingshan and the others went silent, then said slightly, "Okay, tomorrow I will see if I can receive a B-level quest. As for the level quest, Long Fei is too dangerous." Han Xueji walked over and grabbed Long Fei's arm and said, "He's right. You'll make me worry." She had a delicate appearance. She looked at Long Fei lovingly. It really was deadly. Long Fei said, "We'll see tomorrow. Since there isn't a B-class mission, I will take an A-class mission." "Yes. If you guys want to defeat the Blood Skeleton battle team, it's useless if I have to rely on myself. I have to rely on you guys. We are a team, a group. If one of us is strong, then we all are strong." Long Fei reminded them, "For the next 3 months, don't do anything, just cultivate. At that time, I will help you guys create some things." A team is a group. A team battle was not a single person's strength, but the strength of the entire team. If he wanted to win, Long Fei alone was not enough. Wang Qingshan said, heavily, "Don't worry, we will definitely try our best to break through." Han Xueji said tenderly, "Damn you, I love you so much that I can't extricate myself." Long Fei could not take it anymore and said, "Sis, can you stop messing around? If you continue acting like this, I won't be polite any longer." Han Xueji puffed his chest out, and the 2 mountain peaks seemed like they were about to burst out from just 10 centimeters away from Long Fei. Han Xueji said, "You're not being polite. You're not being polite. Why are you being polite to me?" "Damn it," Long Fei said bitterly. "If you win, I won't dare to do so again." Han Xueji laughed out loud and said, "Damn bastard, do your best. When the time comes, I will bring a large group of girls to reward you." Long Fei returned. For some reason, their hearts had calmed down, and they no longer felt the slightest bit of anxiety. Long Fei was their absolute backbone. After exchanging a few words of greeting, Wang Qingshan left one after another. Han Xueji desperately wanted to stay and warm Long Fei's bed, but she was pushed out by Long Fei. If she warmed his bed for him, then he would not be able to sleep that night. Sun Data looked at Long Fei. He did not say anything at the beginning and said, "Long Fei, I know a little about Blood Skeleton. Captain Blood Skeleton had the great elder of the White Tiger Courtyard use their connections to make their principal issue them a ban. Also, the entire White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training has been integrated by the Blood Skeleton. Not only do you have to face the entire team, you have to face the entire White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training. Fantong came up and said, "Young Master Long, College of Martial Arts Training, White Tiger is one of the 4 matrial halls. Other than the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training, the College of Martial Arts Training White Tiger is the strongest combat force, and with Blood Skeleton's current strength, he can already guarantee to enter the top 3. If you want to fight with Blood Skeleton, you must be careful. Blood Skeleton can do anything." They had not been idling around during this period of time. He had been helping Long Fei gather information. Long Fei was grateful in his heart as he said, "Thank you. I will be extra careful. You guys should also be extra careful. There are a few side dishes here." Long Fei took out the few delicacies that he had packed from the God's Phoenix Pavilion. He himself carried 2 jugs of wine and said, "I will be out for a while. I'll be back later." Sun Data did not ask further. Since the Blood Skeleton was so unscrupulous, then Long Fei must also be careful in dealing with it. Moreover,